My mods are working.
Yay.
Yay! Okay, let's freaking do this, folks. So, last session, some stuff happened. This party of four became a party of six, it seems, as the Jewel of Twilight, and Easton were introduced and sort of became ingratiated over the next couple days to the party. The party all had nightmares, terrible, terrible nightmares of dragons, of loneliness, of failure, of all kinds of horrible treachery in the backs of their minds. In the wake of this, you all didn't let that stop you from getting some stuff done. Um, Zarvolg hunts. Zarvolg went hunting. And went to the Wild Arbor with Yvain. Oh man, I didn't write down that priest's name. I hope I have it here somewhere. I was trying to keep track of everything, but I failed at it, folks.
I have it.
Whatever.
I have it. I have it. It's Aloth. Let me get the last name, but the first name is Aloth. Aloth. Come on, where's that fucking page? Sorry. Tal'Dorei. Aloth Tal'Dorei.
Got it.
T-A-L.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry. I'll shut up.
No. Absolutely, thank you. That helped. That definitely helped me find my spot in the book. Thank you. Tal'Dorei. That's right. Thank you. I usually try and keep track of this stuff here. So good stuff. Tal'Dorei. Very nice. Bulb. Tatted elf. All right, freaking sweet. You guys went there and spoke of Shade Barrow, and she relayed a warning that said you are indeed the stuff that people need when a strong sword arm is required, but this is beyond you. And it's okay, because nature balances itself. And maybe one day you'll be strong enough to face these threats, but not today. And that's okay, said the priestess. But she also spoke to you, too, of her goddess, of the Wild Mother, and all that she represents about the peace between civilization and nature, and knowing that nature indeed has a wondrous, beautiful side, but also a savage, carnage side. Yvain, in a plot twist, went from total outskirts, from the middle of nowhere boonies druid, to monk of the Kobold Soul. Joined up with the help of monk Robin Fenwick, making sure I'm getting all my NPC names right. He's just a human male. Sweet. And handed over some information about her adventures, research regarding the Ravengers, and also she went and did research about the Ravengers, and left a little note on Honor's doorstep. I don't. Oh, I did receive that from you. Okay, sweet. Fantastic. Jewel does crime. She went and stole some stuff, made a little turn of profit, and it seems that the guards have doubled their efforts to try and track her down. We'll see what comes of that in the coming days. Easton went to work for a dwarven woman by the name of Alan Hardcloak, a slightly vexed in the mind kind of woman who likes to work with gunpowder. Anyone who likes to work with gunpowder has lost their minds. Just so, Easton applied his alchemical and tinkering abilities to the creation of gunpowder and found a nice place to stay for the week. Ember went to train with your old gnomish friend Wax from the Westfall Academy and learned a little bit about cartography. Finch went to the Temple of Bahamut to seek religious guidance about strength and their own hardships and feelings of incompetence on the battlefield, or just that they wish to protect better and more and want to know how and seek guidance for this. And so it was recommended by the keeper of this the keeper of the temple. His name is the dwarf's name is Samar. Requested that Finch do a little religious service and maybe learn a little bit about the hurt of the small folk and teach them how to help themselves with your teachings, and maybe you might learn something about yourselves, and maybe Finch took something from that. or maybe has yet to apply that. But nonetheless, gain some favor with the Temple of Bahamut and perhaps Bahamut himself. Again, the night vexed with nightmares. It seems it's all come to a head as each of you in your own ways begin to realize that it's not just affecting you, but the whole of the city. And Finch is called to action by Bahamut's Rest and by Samar himself. The Aurora Concordant is summoned to Bahamut's Rest, in which we pick up today. So we're just going to retake that little meeting there just so everybody could be reacquainted with the situation. Probably the best way to do a little recap. So here's my Bahamut's Rest temple. I hope everybody likes it. I don't have an actual dragon statue. That's my only regret. But in we go. You all find yourselves in the middle of the altar room where it is fairly packed with individuals with sort of dark circles under their eyes, praying for guidance. Some people outright weeping loudly, with some people like comforting them as if they'd undergone a pretty severe trauma. And Samar sort of beckons you all to follow him a little deeper. For the time being, we're going to say Zarvolg is, in true Zarvolg faction, maybe a little grumpy and is trying to get some sleep. Just trying to get some good sleep. It feels slightly fitting. For whatever reason, Zarvolg's a little busy right now, but we can always call on him as an NPC if we enter into sort of a big combat situation, if you understand my meaning. Samar calls you into the main hall and speaks to all of you, but definitely directs most of the attention towards you, Finch. And says, welcome, Aurora Concordant, is it? And Finch, thank you for coming on such short notice. I hope the summonings wasn't too forward or too taking you out of your normal days routines. But as you can,
no problem at all. No need to apologize.
Excellent, excellent. As you can see, Western has become quite a. There's been bad things this week, and maybe you've heard a little bit about it. People suffering horrible nightmares, and crime has gone up around the city, and things aren't well. And Bahamut's Rest wishes to rectify this problem, and we think we may have a lead, and which is why we call you to action, Finch.
Mm-hmm.
See, there was a traveler on the road, well, miners really, and they were making their way to, well, ply their trade. And as they were making their way, they found themselves on what is known to be a sort of fabled urban legend spot within the woods. And there, the larger part of the mining party died. Their faces stretched with terror is what was described to me, but perhaps the man himself better describe it to you. But regardless, there is some legends around this spot. It may or may not be related. I'll leave that to all of you to decide. But this could be related to what's going on with the dreams. It could not be. Hopefully, we could get to the bottom of this. And either way, this needs solving. So, Paladin Finch, will you take up the call?
Yes, of course. You said that one of the miners was here. Can you point us in that direction?
Aye, of course, right this way.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to take you to a side room. He's going to say, just a little warning as you head inside. He's still a little fragile. Hasn't lost his mind or hasn't taken to madness or anything like that, but it all happened very recently. We called you just as soon as we got the information out of him. He only got here about an hour ago, and he's still a little shaken up, so just a little warning. He opens the door, and you see one of the fine back rooms. It's probably meant for pilgrim or priest, perhaps a cleric, and you guys all shuffle in. Let me see if I can shuffle a party in. Fuck me. Okay, didn't work at all. That's reassuring. Okay, you guys all begin to make your way in there. You see an older gentleman, but not so old that he cannot work. He has I completely lost one of you. One of you is gone. I don't know where you went. You decided not to take the quest. Oh, there you are, Easton. This is you, yeah. You jumped up on the chair. Anyway, sort of your gruff human male tradesman that you'd expect, a little older, maybe getting close to retirement age, but still can put in the work probably. You guys all walk in with Samar. The gentleman turns and says, He's sort of like pacing back and forth, his hands on his hips, and just kind of like still trying to calm down. You can see. He says, Samar, who? Oh God, I gotta swap accents. Who are these then? Who's here? Samar goes, it's all right, Elijah. Everyone, this is Elijah Gustavo. He's a miner here in Western, and Elijah, this is the Aurora Concordant, and more specifically, this is Paladin Finch of Here the Faith of Bahamut, and we wish to lend you our protection as I promised for you and your friends. So if you'd be so very kind, please inform these brave souls what's going on and what's happened. And Elijah will say, right, you're looks at all of you, goes, you're adventurers. Oh fuck. I gotta get the accent right. Right, there we go. Right, you're adventurers then. You're a paladin, you think you deal with things that they're dealing with and all.
That's correct. And I think I would like make sure like my weapon was away, like my shield was away, and I would try and just like give like a calming presence as much as I can, because like obviously he needs like a little bit of soothing. So I will just go up to him and I'll extend my hand and I'll reintroduce myself, and I'll just try and like, you know, like when you shake somebody's hand and like you kind of like also put like your free hand like on top of theirs, like yeah, exactly. And I'll just say, you know, we are here to help. You know, in your own time, can you help us understand what happened to the rest of your party?
Make me a big old persuasion check. I'll give you advantage because that was well spoken, and you've been presented as a protector paladin of Bahamut. You're in your temple.
All right, let's see here. That is. Let's see here. So that is dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, you extend a hand, he kind of like looks at it and you sort of say your piece and he kind of goes, he sort of like shakes his head like, what am I doing? Of course, like it's a handshake. And he's like, thank you. And he'll shake your hand, you kind of like do the thing on the hand. He goes, you see, he like intentionally starts calming himself down. He goes, okay, all right. Right, let me tell you what happened again. Oh God, by Bahamut. I was so me and my crew was out. The lot of us. We were walking towards the mine to go get some work done. And we came across the spot. You know, the spot, the maiden of the Bramblewood. Or she has a bunch of different names. But swapped accents. Right, but there's a story all around it. I can't remember all the details. I haven't heard it since I was but a wee lad. But basically there's like a really sad woman and she lures men to their death, right? That's the story along the lines, and that's what people say. I never thought it was true. Nobody thought it was true, right? But here we are, and it bloody killed my men, my mates. We were just traveling through the woods, and we were there on the spot, and there was this. They all started screaming, and their faces were stretched horribly apart. It was terrible. Oh God.
Can I do like just a medicine check to see like if he's hurt in any way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go ahead.
19 minus 1 is 18.
18. Yeah, you look him over. He's got a couple scrapes and bruises here and there, and you like kind of see like a little bit of his ankle is sort of showing between his boot and his pant, and it is purple. You get the sense this guy ran back on like a really badly sprained ankle and hasn't even realized it yet. Like the adrenaline's probably still going.
Okay, so as like we're talking and as he's just like trying to get it all out and we're listening, I'm gonna keep like his hand between like mine, and I'm going to cast Healing Hands. So that's 5
Okay.
points, 5 points of healing instantly to him.
There's this little sort of pulse of light that sort of whelms down your arm and it sort of floods into a morning. He kind of like looks down a little surprised. He kind of like blinks a couple times and sort of like leans on his foot and he goes, he's like a little caught off guard. I don't know what you did. Good paladin, but thank you.
It's not a problem. So, if I understand correctly, you were out and on a specific spot within the woods, and was it instantaneous? Did you see any fiends or ghosts or beings or creatures of any kind, or did this just manifest, just happen to your men?
We was walking, and the Bramblewood's real dark, right? And that's nothing new. But it was a little mistier. It was very misty, and that happens sometimes, but it was particularly misty that day. Well, today. And we was walking, and one of my mates was like, "Oh, let's go check it out." Just sort of goofing around, right? So we kind of just went off the road. It's only like 100 or something feet off the road. It's just this tree. We kind of wandered over there to like a little pit stop, right? Have a sandwich and whatnot on the way there, and we've heard this like weeping sound in the woods, and one of my mates was like calling in the woods, like, "Is anyone there? You all right?" And then he started screaming like a madman, and his face, he fell to the ground. He had this horrible look on his face, and then suddenly everyone started screaming, and I just took off running. I didn't. Let's see if he saw anything in there. He says, I think I bring up the ghost tale because it was misty and I didn't see too well. You understand? I was running for my life, but I might have seen something in there. There was the crying and the weeping and the sadness, and I think I might have saw this sort of glowy silhouette. I don't know if it was glowing or if I was just going mad, but there might have been maybe a lady in the woods, perhaps.
Okay. Through our time in Westrun, would myself or anyone else in the party know like the significance of the tale that he's telling?
You can make a history check.
Nope.
Hard no.
That's
a nat 20. That's a nat 20.
Nat 20, very nice, Finch. What'd you get, Yvain?
Pardon?
Were you rolling?
Am I allowed to?
Yeah, sure.
I got a 14.
Okay.
14.
Got it. Yeah, you two, Finch and Yvain, fittingly, remember that Honor actually told you this little folk tale a while ago while you were still dealing with the on-cake situation. She told you about this folk tale, which is sort of like a bedtime story about a woman in the woods. They say that there is a spectral young woman that sometimes appears along the road through the forest of the Bramblewood, sobbing and leading men deeper into the Bramblewood to never be seen again.
Yeah, she did. I remember.
So, Elijah, was it? Would you be able to, if we needed to go and inspect this ourselves, would you be able to accompany us to show us where this happened to you and your party?
Oh, go back there? I don't know about that. Sounds. That's a. I don't think.
I understand. Would you be able to, if you don't want to go back, would you be able to at least describe to us enough for us to go on our own then, if you weren't willing to come?
Yeah, I could tell you where it is. It's not too hard to find. I promise you that.
Okay.
And he'll tell you. He'd say like. Maybe like 4 hours up the road.
Okay.
For down there's like a main road that goes through the Bramblewood, that is meant to lead to. That's my drum roll. I've actually got to double check a little bit of lore here just to make sure I'm not totally shooting myself in the foot. Mother Master's overgrowth on these dollars. Okay. No, yeah, we're good. He says, yeah, I woke in the iron mine, the Murdoon mine. There's a main road that leads right from Westerun to the Murdoon mines, and that's where he was traveling. So about 4 hours up the road, there's a tree off to the left side of the road, in a slight clearing. People like to sort of rest on. Well, people don't really like to go near the tree, but me and my boys, we used to go there.
Sure.
And he tells you where to find it. It doesn't sound very hard to find at all, especially with a ranger and various survivalists in your group at your beck and call.
Okay. And I will just, I will say I deeply appreciate all the information that you've given us. And then I'm going to take out 3 gold from my bag. And I'm going to put it in his hand, and I'm going to say, you've had a very long and trying day. I want you to take this and put yourself up in an inn of your choice. Make sure that you get yourself like a nice hot meal and some rest. You deserve it.
Thank you, sir. You're a good one. You're a good one.
Yeah, it's not a problem. So like, you know, put my hands on his shoulders, just like
he like throws his hands around you and like starts weeping. He goes, "Oh, thank you, please. Oh God!" And he has a little moment where he just sort of like lets it out.
I'll hug him. I'll hug him back.
Yeah, you pat him on the back. He goes, "I'm sorry, I just so known some of those mates for years, you know."
We should never apologize for our emotions.
All right, I'll try and be more accepting of my emotions.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go find an inn and have a bath or something.
Yep, I think that sounds perfect.
All right, have a nice day.
Bye, Elijah.
Samar goes, you don't. He goes, if you want to stay here, you can. But blessings, okay. And he just walks out, sort of like has the golden hand. He's like, a little weepy.
Before he leaves,
Yeah.
could I, when they were like embracing Fedge, could I have taken that moment to like give him a really like, like a really like visual pat down, sensing any sort of traces of like undead or anything on him? Perhaps using a hunter's bane.
Very interesting. Let me give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. Hunter's Bane. Give me a half a moment. I'm just gonna double check the feature itself. Been a minute.
If that doesn't work, I have a spell for that.
Oh, on intelligence checks. Very interesting. I'll tell you what. Make me. Yeah. It's slightly different than what the feature actually says, but I'll give you advantage regardless. Why don't you make me an insight check, and I'll give you the Hunter's Bane advantage for that.
Okay. Ooh, wow, that's a 23 for the first one, and then
Nice.
ooh, yeah, definitely use that advantage because the second one was a 6, so 23.
23. Let's see. This guy doesn't look, as far as you can tell, like, you know, the signs of undeath. There's different forms of undeath, or your mind sort of hones in a way that it hasn't really before. This is probably the first time you really utilize this feature in this way, where your mind sort of like locks in almost, I don't want to say animalistically, but like as if you have done this 100 times. And you just sort of hone in, sort of like scan the body, and you like look at his flesh. There's no rotten smell. It's well colored. You don't see any sort of spectral aberration to him. He doesn't move awkwardly. You don't think that there's any sign, just from a visual inspection, you don't see any sign of undeath. Yvain.
While they are, like, when he has his real meltdown and is just really obviously emotionally upset, Yvain's going to kind of put her head to the side and look at Happy and say, Happy, can you do anything to help him to feel more calm for a little while? I don't know if he can, but I mean, he calmed down and Ankeg Queen, he might have some emotional support bunny.
The power of cuteness.
Mojo.
Happy sort of like looks at you and tilts his head. It kind of like looks like it's thinking, and then it sort of like hops off your head onto the ground, And as Elijah's sort of like walking away, he like looks down and sees Happy, and Happy just kind of gives the like Puss in Boots sort of like eyes up at Elijah. He goes, "That's the most strangest, most cutest rabbit I ever saw." And just Happy just sits there, and Elijah just sort of like goes on his knees and just kind of hugs Happy and goes, and Happy's like a little. It's Happy's sort of a placid buddy, just sort of like lets anybody do what they want with him. So he just kind of like lets himself get squished there. He goes, "Oh, I don't know what's going on with you. Oh God!" And then he kind of like he goes, all right, you better get going then, little rabbit."
Oh.
And I go, "Do you have a lot of drinks?" And he and Elijah just sort of like teenage girl a little bit, sort of like kind of pathetically, sort of like runs down the hall because he's a little emotional, and he sort of runs away to go find an inn to get probably blackout drunk at.
That's fair.
And Happy just sort of like looks at you, Yvain, with a look of like, "Did I do good?" basically.
Thank you, baby. Thank you.
Happy sort of like thumps their back foot, sort of like in a like a. It looks kind of pissed off, but it's more like a, "Yeah, we did it." I don't know. I think that rabbits, like if you have a bunny or like a rabbit, like as a pet, and they're pissed off, they'll like thump their foot at you, like in a mad.
Yeah, they do.
Which
They
is
also growl.
hilarious. That's hilarious.
Bunnies
So,
also growl.
Amazing.
I'm gonna be putting that into Happy's character, to be clear. Fantastic. So, Samara like patiently waits for Elijah to go run off. Samara goes, "Well, Paladin Finch, you're of course welcome here, and if ever you need any questions answered or resources from the temple, we of course stand ready to help however we can with your mission. But good luck. May Bahamut go with you."
Bahamut with you, and I'll put my hand to like shake his hand as we get ready.
And he'll shake your hand. He'll do the like over the hand thing.
Yeah.
It's like, now it's my turn to be like, okay.
So in the
Yeah.
back, Yvain's doing like this little cha-cha, like they don't want to be rude, but they're sort of trying to get the priest's attention without being,
Samara's like having this moment with Finch, and then kind of like can't help but notice the like anxious person in the back and goes, "Sorry, are you? Hello."
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My name is Yvain, and I'm the healer for the group. And you mentioned resources, and it occurs to me perhaps you may know people who might be able to do work while maybe taking into account that there will be some expenses involved, and maybe it would help us out with that. If this is indeed as incorporeal, I'm so sorry. And she looks at Finch and is just like trying not to cry. Incorporeal undead, we fought them before, and like my sickle will hit it, and Finch's hammer, we're assured, will hit it. But like Zar's crossbow, it hits it, but it doesn't. It doesn't hit. It doesn't.
He's kind of like looking between Yvain and like Finch, like fully not comprehending what Yvain's trying to relay, but is trying to definitely give you rapt attention.
Maybe a blacksmith or something that could perhaps might be willing to silver weapons at a lower cost, or perhaps for I don't know, like not a layaway, but like we'll pay you in credit a little bit at a time, so that we can do the mission. It might not be possible, and if it's not possible, it's okay. I'm shutting up now.
Well,
Sorry.
that's all right. That's all right. Sorry you were saving that up. That we let that bottle up so much. I hope you feel better now. We're more than happy to refer you to some smiths that we send some of our paladins around the city, but of course that is a sort of rigorous expense, and we have much to feed and do here. Finch, I know that you have a couple favors with the temple, if that was something that you were interested in calling in for that situation, but if I might recommend, investigate first. You never know what's going on, but this could very well, men get scared in the woods. You wouldn't want to make a sizable investment and find it's just a couple bandits, right?
Understood. Yeah, we'll do a little investigation around the town. Maybe take a look at where we were told this incident happened, and then yeah, if we need to call upon the church, we certainly will. But I appreciate any assistance that you've already given us, and I'll still have his hand, and we'll let him discreetly walk away.
Oh, we were holding hands for that whole time. All right.
Whole time holding hands.
All right. We're really getting tight these days, me and you. All right. Yes, and it goes without saying, Finch, that whatever attacked these miners needs to be dealt with, without a doubt in my mind. But of course, we wish to infer the protection of Bahamut upon all of the city and all of its troubles as of late. So if this does end up being something supernatural that might solve this grander problem, that's incredible. But please, keep your eye out. Maybe this is a red herring, a false lead, but keep your eye out. We want to do whatever we can for Western and protect it from these nightmares and crimes that have been happening around the city. So go, keep your eyes open, but keep an open mind as well.
I understand.
Okay. Bahamut be with you all. May his protection find you on your path, Aurora Concordant. Now, I have much to do, so thank you for your time. Please let me know if you need anything else.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And Samar will head on the way. So, I will just, if you guys want to talk amongst yourselves for half a moment, feel free. I'm just going to check something.
So, you looking towards the van, you've faced something similar to what he was describing?
So, maybe if we're dealing with, they said a spectral young woman. When I hear spectral, I think incorporeal undead, right? Ghosties, specters. Right. I don't know. See, look.
Yeah,
I've been meaning to go to the Temple of the Raven Queen and find out about the undead, because we've got a place that's been on the to-do list. I haven't gotten there, so maybe this is a good time for us to go and find out how we kill these things. And the good keeper was right. It may not be this. It may not be connected to the nightmares. The nightmares, the crimes, and whatever's going on in the Bramblewood could potentially be completely unrelated. They could be completely related. Right now, we just know we've got 3 weird things going on simultaneously with no evidence of causation.
And all I keep hearing is people with sleep issues, which that's not. The more that adds, the more that compounds. Doesn't seem like a good combination. As far as the Raven Queen Temple goes, I don't think you'll have to fight too many people for visiting, because as it happens, I spent a bit of time there myself the past week.
Then you can make introductions. So we should probably plan so that we can get on to business.
My first order is
Ember, you're so good at all this. I'm sure. No, because I can't herd cats. I can just say that.
Jewel tilts her head at that.
No offense.
One more question.
Yes.
The story everyone seems to be mentioning about the woman and the maiden in the woods and such. I'm not quite familiar with that tale. If any of you could perhaps refresh or fill me in. What's the story?
We know exactly what you just heard. There have been tales for a long time, not recently, like it's been forever. We've got them ghost stories to keep children out of the woods. And things go missing in the woods. Things die that don't go into the woods for a dare or prank, you could end up dead. It's a scary place. There are natural things like bears that will kill you. But also, there's a story about a weeping spirit that finds people on the road and leads them presumably to their deaths. We don't know that they're dead. We know that they're never seen again. And this has happened periodically for a long time. Everyone seems to remember these ghosty stories. This is the first time I know that anyone's actually seen them, but this is also the first time I've actually been looking for it. It's sort of the thing that Balthazar would know about as far as that kind of lore.
You seem to have mentioned long screaming faces multiple times, which that makes me feel more as if it's something he definitely remembered well. If that's a detail commonly told in the story, that may be something worth looking into.
We're sort of in a place now where we're agreed that we're going out to do this, and we understand that if we go out to do this, it is most likely to cost us money. I'm fine with that. It's not about that, but we have two people who are new to our group, and I feel like it's always important to be above the board. If you're going to labor for free, you should know going into it what you're doing in case you don't want to.
So I'm just going to put it out there in that regard, just to make things very, very quick and clear. The temple is a place of faith, right? And Finch, you are a member of this place of faith. So as they call upon you for aid, there is a sort of like, you do this in the name of Bahamut because it's the right thing to do for your faith. And to go into it asking, like, paladins of Bahamut are not mercenaries, right?
Right.
So there is probably like an expectation that there will be some reward involved, of course, but it's not one where it's like, and you'll make this much money in the end. Like it's not like a job board situation for sure. Right. But there is there's probably an expectation of reward if you save Westrun from horrible nightmares. But you don't know what that is, and it's probably not going to be in the shape of coin.
Yeah, we do like you said, they do it on faith.
Yeah, take it on faith, they'll reward you, basically, is the idea.
We have new people, and she's just wanting to be above the board because she's a little communist.
Yeah, and that's fine, and I just wanted to... She's a little communist. Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. I just wanted to, in the same respect, inform you guys what you can expect from this place.
For sure.
If you're worried about me requesting payment, I'm not. That it seems there's been people hurt, and they need our help. Call me old-fashioned, but that's about enough for me right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rejuvenating things to get these nightmares to just go away.
So, again, nothing would make me happier than to think that we're going to do this and get rid of the nightmares. We must always be mindful that it could be something different. It could be together, it could be different. We don't know.
It would be a hell of a coincidence if there's so many things that are going wrong. You know? And
right.
if they are not related in any way, that would surprise me.
I do not disagree with you. I do not disagree with you in any way. I just want to do it right, you know? I just want to do good. This sounds important. All right. So we know that there's at least a possibility that we're dealing with incorporeal undead, right? It could be bandits, and in the case it's bandits, it could be Ravengers, right? We know it could be the Ravengers. I have a report to make on the Ravengers. I know some things about them in case it's those little individuals. Sorry, Finch.
It could be playing madness too, but I I appreciate covering all our tracks. It's how are you feeling on this? And I look towards Finch since this seems to be important.
Yeah, I agree. It sounds like it could be a lot of things. Not sure it would be madness. I'm not sure what somebody would gain from concocting a tall tale of the individuals that they care for dropping like flies and having their faces manipulated. I mean, you saw him. He seemed genuinely scared. So I'm tend to incline that this is maybe something beyond what maybe we've encountered, or similar to something beyond, human flesh and blood.
All right. So here's what I'm getting at. If it's human flesh and blood, we know our weapons work. If it's an incorporeal undead, and she pulls out a spreadsheet because she's been working on this, thinking about the Shade Bearer, right?
Mm.
Here's what we know based on past experience. Regular weapons don't dig in. And fire doesn't dig in. But radiant digs in, like it works like normal. And arcane, because the thorn whip worked like normal.
Mm-hmm.
So in the worst case scenario, if this is what we're dealing with, and there's some things that don't work the way they're supposed to, there's some things that don't work like normal, or that just work like normal, should we start thinking about, I don't know, finding out about what this could be perhaps, and seeing what's, and the other ones, they did that thing where they touched you and they pulled like pieces of your soul out and voided them out their back, and then like you couldn't heal, right? You remember that? Like
that was I've blocked that out of my memory, but yes, I recall.
Right, but if like I know we don't know that we're dealing with those things, but if we're dealing with things that could we just go to the Temple of the Raven Queen and find out, like, what's the skinny and how do we do this?
I think that's a good first step. I mean, do you think that it would be worth us consulting with Honor at all? I know that she's very learned and she's from the area. Like, I'm not certain if there's anything that she may know, whether it's in regards to this wise tale or otherwise, that could help us before we just go charging in there. I know that it could very well be benign, but maybe we consult with her as well before we go.
I think that's a great idea. Did you what time of day is it right now? Is it still like early morning?
Yeah, it's like it's definitely before midday. It's like, yeah, the day's just begun.
At risk of,
Yeah, it's the afternoon, like midday. Yeah.
At risk of derailing things, I'm left with questions. First is, when did this start to happen? This mysterious female presence. Because I get the impression that it likely hasn't been her a really long time, relatively speaking, as opposed to Shade Barrel, which is much, much older. And the reason I say that is, if this sort of situation has been ongoing, where, men have been disappeared, there are ample resources here for something that was exceedingly straightforward. So I would think that something sideways is likely going to be involved.
Seems reasonable.
If it's a situation where, I don't know, maybe an expression of whatever this entity is has been dealt with, but its root cause hasn't been taken care of. Maybe it comes back or grows back or something like that. It would be interesting to try to find out, when did it start, and has some resource from, obviously not here, but maybe the Raven Queen's Temple, like you suggested, Javane, have dealt with it, and this is a return. Because I can't believe that it's been going on and so close to Western with, men getting led off the path and disappearing, that somebody already hasn't done a bunch of the legwork.
That makes a whole lot of sense. So, why don't we all head to the Raven Queen's temple then? I suppose we should all hear whatever she has to say if they know things about killing undead.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what we're doing. And again, if it's brigands, well, we know how to do that. We've done that before. Going once.
Yeah, no, I'm in
Objections.
I'm in agreement. We have to start somewhere.
Well,
Okay. Going to the Raven Queen's Temple?
yes, please.
Okay, you all head out. You leave to the sounds of sort of weeping, crying, other people just sort of sitting around tired and distressed, and priests doing what they can to help those wayward souls. So, you all leave Bahamut's Rest, and you make your way down the fucking street because you're in the Temple District and everything's right next to one another. I'm gonna say probably, who would it make sense most for? Jewel of the Moon and Ember, what are your passive investigations?
Passive investigation is a 16.
16. What about yours, Jewel?
15.
Okay. I'll say about the same time. You guys are going to notice the city is, not yesterday, but today, the city has been definitely, or maybe it was a little bit last night too, like maybe you saw some people going to work and you're like, oh, they're putting up some new like flyers and stuff around town and whatever. And so maybe Jewel, or actually let's do it this way because there's two pieces of information. So you two learn two different things. Okay, Jewel, I think it makes sense that you would sort of hear the town criers, you being sort of a cow, your ears a little bit more sort of parked towards different sounds. You hear the town criers sort of speaking loudly about the stuff going on around town. And I'm just going to hit you with that right now. They're going to say, the stuff of nightmares, reports of missing children on the rise in Western, nightmares plaguing people, old and young alike, mystic expertise sought to acquire information regarding the issue, monetary reward for anyone who brings forth the culprits or information about the issue. As the criers sort of speak loudly around Western, you will sort of catch wind of this. First and foremost, everyone will eventually, but you catch it first. The thing that you catch, Ember, is there's a couple flyers sort of splayed around the street. Maybe even earlier. We'll say right now you kind of See a couple flyers sort of like pinned up on different walls, or maybe there's very small children sort of wandering around handing out the flyers, probably just paid a couple of copper to do so. And you're going to notice that there is it's a flyer for a dream reading stall in the market district. And it's sort of like showing cards and like sort of an eye, sort of like a mystic eye. And it says like dream reading for the low price of 2 silver. Have your dreams read and interpreted. Understand what vexes you in the night. And it says the Tiefling Brothers dream reading stall. You would also notice that as people see these flyers in and around town, it seems to catch almost immediate interest with whoever picks it up. Someone picks it up and they go, oh, that's a lot. And they like immediately seem to be drawn to the flyer attentively. That is what you two pick up along the way.
All right, Jewel will mention the reward. We'll hear soon. He's the criers, and they are talking about perhaps a reward for finding the cause of these nightmares. So if we are going anyway, we might as well pick up a couple of gold, no?
I think that makes sense.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Temple of the Raven Queen, definitely smaller than Bahamut's Rest, and definitely a little bit more pushed off to the side, as people, as one is to do, often likes to push the idea of death off to the side. And that is no different for the temple and its queen. And as it is in most cities, they don't seem to mind too much. So, Vane, Jewel, Finch, Easton, and Ember, you all find yourselves at the Temple of Bahamut. Let's see if I can make this music slightly more spooky. No, I've got something for sure. Ooh, the Afterworld? Maybe. We'll see.
Sounds like it.
We'll give that a shot.
Slow open, slow open.
Oh, slow open. Yeah, unfortunately, no option for that one. You guys all make your way within the temple. The door would be sort of locked, and you guys kind of the doors definitely sort of double door open until you see the entryway and make your way forth. As you do, you are going to see a couple of individuals wandering here and there. Where are you guys? Where are my priests? Damn, they're special humans. Oh, gross. Who the hell are these people? Oh well, moving on. Sorry, I got some new mods.
They look like RuneScape characters.
They do. They look crappy. You are going to see just like a couple individuals working around, but one sort of like stands at the altar almost forebodingly as if they were waiting for you. Sends a little shiver down maybe some of your spines.
Jewel will play with her ring, one of her rings, a little widely.
Understood.
Can I make a perception check to see if there's like one that I recognize from that one time where I was just like chilling outside of the temple?
The answer will be no. Simply because they are masked and hooded and robed at all times. If there was anything to recognize, you certainly didn't, unfortunately. They all wear like black robes, black hood, and white porcelain masks that sort of cover the upper portion of the face. The one that you are seeing at the end of the hall here, who sort of awaits you, does not wear a mask, but still wears sort of like a hood, long black robes. But the robes do sort of have what look to be sort of like a feather feathers just sort of like at the ends of the cuffs and the bottom of the actual robes. Maybe a little bit extra embellishment on the actual robes themselves, sort of perhaps indicating this is an individual of particular interest here in the place, perhaps of prominence amongst the other priests. Welcome. You come not to pray. You come for something else.
I will approach them, and I will say that is correct, and I will try and extend my hand to shake theirs.
The hand extends. You will see just sort of like a almost like gray, pale face under the robe, about this much without the hood. You've approached, so I'll give you a little bit better of a description. You extend the hand comes forth to shake your hand. The hand is slightly colder than is comfortable to the touch, but it is black fingernails. It is a pale whitish gray. Just like the face, a slender elven face, but like again, like gray, and the eyes are just black. No pupils, no whites, just black voids. And shakes your hand. Says, I am grave mystic Sarish. Welcome to my temple.
My name is Finch Endegard, and we've come to hopefully seek your wisdom and your guidance. And I'll just try to like, I will be trying to like be very respectful, like not look like I'm like trying to pull away, because I'm probably like a little freaked out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, releases your hand, sort of returns the hand sort of like in the coke a little bit, and says, regarding what? Many have come more than usual to our temple here, regarding things of the past, things they've seen the dark of night, things that have happened to the ones they love, what might happen to them. Do you come for this?
We do. We're in that line. Have you noticed an increase in the attendance at your temple recently?
Yes, absolutely. Many turn their eyes towards death and to tragedy, and they come here to try and understand it. And we help to the best of our ability.
Okay. We are also seeking, your guidance or assistance or whatever you could provide in terms of a problem we're looking to solve, or hopefully solve. And I'll just again try not be awkward. We are hopefully looking to help the town, as you just said. Many of the individuals have been plagued with nightmares, and it was just made known to us that there was an incident not far, possibly involving an unknown entity. That the nature of this incident is still unclear to us, but we just wanted to seek your guidance in what you've been hearing from the individuals within the town, and maybe we can ask a few other questions of you if you have the time.
You may ask as many questions as you require, which is why we are here.
I'll like beckon like the rest of the group to like come up and join me, so I'm not by myself.
Elaine will step up.
I'll join you up there.
Yep, Jewel will join as well. She's yeah.
We love death.
Yeah, Death.
She's sent a couple people there, but
Yeah.
we're not talking about that right now.
It's not why we're here. It's not why we're here.
Yeah, I will.
Says,
go ahead.
What sort of like looks at you all. Says, welcome. Please, what questions do you have?
Finch, may I?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Yvonne.
We've recently been tasked by Keeper Sima at the Temple of Bahamut's Rest to address a situation where some miners were found dead inexplicably in the Bramblewood, and the miner who lived believes he may have seen a incorporeal undead. I don't want to put a label to it because I know different labels mean different things, and I don't want to color your perception at all. We've dealt with incorporeal undead. Again, we don't know what they were. I think there's more than one kind. And we realize it could be brigands or something mundane, but on the off shot that we are dealing with having to permanently put down undead, I was wondering if there was wisdom you could share with us. What kinds, like, okay, so the ones we fought at Shadebarrow, if you touched them, they like you became like you took essence out of you and it voided it out of your back, and then you wouldn't heal up, right? So is that just, do they all do that? Or do they do different things, and how do we know I'm sorry.
The Raven Queen seeks the defeat of all undead, for they are an aberration, a taint upon the wheel of life and death. It is something that need be eradicated. If you were to defeat these creatures, you would have the Raven Queen's blessing to do so. And if you wished to know more, you will need to bring more to know. That being said, you go, seek, find, and learn what it is you go to face, perhaps. And if you have yourself a body, we could speak to that dead soul, and perhaps the dead may tell truths of what it is you face. And we may relay that to you from the other side. Bring us a corpse, and we will make it speak.
Is there anyone else? She says she continues to step back.
You speak of Shadebarrow.
Stops. Yes, ma'am. And she'll step up again.
You say there is undead there.
We've been there. Not inside. We saw it. We didn't know what we saw. We saw a place. We were adventurers. We went looking like idiots. My happy. He's brave. It sounds ridiculous, but I'm telling you, he's brave. And when he got there, he screamed, and he's never screamed before. And we were in a druidic circle, and as soon as I was there, I felt sick, and it sounds ridiculous, but my magic, it just made me feel nauseous. And as soon as the sun was away, these black shades were up, and they were screaming, and they said Defiler, and they said Houthis, and when they touched you, they like did a thing, and you became gaunt, and then inky stuff came out their back, and then you wouldn't heal up right afterwards. We left, and I went to the Temple of Melora to find out what happened at the Shadebarrow, and she said that we should wait before going back, but that, yeah, at some point it should be cleansed, just that it would eat us right now.
It is of particular interest to weave the Raven Queen here in Westrun, the fate of Shadebarrow. It is a dark place, and you do well to steer far from it. But alas, no more. If this place were to be found, and if one day you were to return to face such a place, the Raven Queen would see its darkness banished from the material plane, from all of Exandria, from Tal'Dorei. If there comes a time where you go to face this darkness, come here first, and we will find great power in the Raven Queen's blessings.
Thank you.
It is a blight on the land, that one day must be cleansed when champions sound themselves strong enough to face it, and perhaps one day that may be you. But for now, face the ghosts of the woods. For this must be dealt with. You are welcome.
If there are these ghosts in the woods, not all of us knows all that much magic. How would we defend ourselves?
Without magic, there are ways of fighting monsters in the dark. She looks through the crowd of individuals at you, Easton, and she beckons you to step forth.
I was like, it was like one of those. I was waiting for that. Yeah, and I like politely walk up to her.
This individual looks at you and has this just sort of coldly almost stares through you. And says, "The Raven Queen has touched you." Perhaps so this individual looks past you to all of your friends and says, "Perhaps your friend here might better explain the slaying of ghosts than I. I'm sure you well know, do you not?" Easton, make me a either a religion or nature check at advantage because of the Hunter's Bane.
Maybe let's go with nature. Advantage.
More of it. Or Arcana. I'll give you Arcana too, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. But I feel like Arcana is more fitting, probably. But...
Okay. Same bonus though.
Same bonus, yeah.
Okay, 12. No, you'll know. Yeah, your mind sort of focuses in on the undead. This is stuff that you don't know. Like you're like, I don't know this, but your mind sort of reams in on this like new source of information within your mind, like something has been like put there that, or it's almost like memories that had gone undiscovered until now, or someone had placed this within you, and you sort of think and you go, okay, well, like an incorporeal creature, it was a magical creature, and most magical creatures, especially undead, are vulnerable to magic, but silver has latent magic within it. A silvered blade, silvering weapons is how you do that. So you know that for those without magic, it is advised that they silver their weapons, and that is how you face undead.
Look at Joel specifically. You're going to want to silver your blades if I don't want to put an official stamp, but if we are getting the Raven Queen's blessing, which that feels more definitive than most.
Honestly, it's a little comforting.
Yeah, so I was planning to with my own ammunition, I was planning to use some silver. If I can help at all, I can coat your blades, perhaps, or it's odd. I feel just the mention of it. There's a trace, but I can't tell you the source. It's just I have a feeling when we get there, please, if allowed, let me have the first look. And I kind of asked that to the rest of the party, yeah.
Yvain?
Easton, so let's say someone was shooting with a crossbow. Would they silver the individual bolts, or would they silver the crossbow itself, and that would do the trick?
Bolts. Easton.
It's what it would be each bolt, because each time it's hit, if they land, it would be different. It'd be, for instance, for me, right now I have about 20 rounds in my pouch. I'm hoping before we can get there to give myself 20 or more silver rounds.
Nice.
It's
Thank you.
and a lot of time, especially with and like I kind of stopped myself being like, especially where'd that information come from? But with the undead, there's tethers, there's what connects them, keeps them here. So that's it's going to be something to look out for. I don't know if they can tether onto individuals or whatever it is we're dealing with. It's just as we've said, the woods are filled with a lot in the dark, and I've spent a lot of time there. It's in the worst of ways, it's a comforting place. That's it.
So, should we go get the horses, ride on the road, and bring back the dead miners? We should probably bring them back to so they can be put to rest anyway.
We just need one, right? But
We have a sled. We can bring them all back.
uh,
I agree with you, Vane. I think you're right. He did say just one, but I think it would be the respectful thing to do to bring back whoever we can find for a proper burial.
Yeah. And
if I can just have a moment to prepare before we go.
Of course, yeah.
Jewel, if you'd like, you could ride double with me on Beaumont.
Jewel is 6 foot tall. Would she be
You're
able
fine.
to? She's fine. Okay.
Just spindly little cat.
Fair.
Vane's 5'4".
Yeah.
Yeah, Vane's tiny.
Okay. Yeah.
You know how cats, like, you hold them up and they become about 3 times as long?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're good. You're good. Someone upped. You're truly made of liquid because you're a cat, right?
Yes, this is true.
True. It's true.
Fit in every
Vibes.
container you sit
In
in.
truth, you just take different shapes as well.
I will be right back.
Jewel can fit into like a cup or a box.
As long as she
Yeah.
can get her head in, the rest of her body will fit.
Expertise in acrobatics.
Not yet.
Not quite yet. Working on it.
Working on it. Yep.
Am I going to be able to alchemy up some bullets or something?
That would be smithing tools, my friend, to craft. Or I think bullets would be. I think you can get. I would let you get away with tinkering.
Okay.
I'd let you get away with tinkering tools for bullets. Yeah.
Yeah, I meant more like the silver dust part, or what? Or would that be-
Oh, if you wanna silver stuff,
yeah.
I'd let you get away with the tinkering tools for bullets specifically.
Okay.
I might even let you get away with it for like various forms of ammunition, but when it comes to like silvering like a blade or a dagger or something, that's smithing tools for sure.
Okay. Cool.
And that will take time to craft, of course. Time and money.
Well,
Crafting's definitely less expensive, but takes more time.
Jewel has a plan.
Yep. You can always just try and fist fight the ghosts.
I'm just gonna
Be a monk.
put it on my
Maybe
my
we
tab.
can make little nail caps for Finch's or for Jewel's claws.
No.
And she can...
That is actually sex. Oh, that would be. Oh.
That'd be tight. That'd be tight. Be tight as hell.
I'm
Fuck with me.
gonna put it on my tab with my job, and gonna need to borrow some of these bullet stuff.
All right. So, are we in the process of getting to the stables and getting our horses and
Finch.
taking off on the road towards the Murdoon mines? Murdoon.
You got it.
Yeah. So we're going to go towards there, and I wrote it down. There's going to be a tree that's in a slight clearing, about 100 feet off the road,
4-hour march, he said.
around the 4-hour mark.
But you guys will be on horseback, so that'll be sooner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For first order of magnitude, what's what's the cost to get a rapier and a handful of bullets? Call them bullets in silver.
That would be, I believe it is 50 gold an item, and then when it comes to oh, nope, it's more than that.
It's like 100 gold, I think.
Yeah, it's like 100 gold to silver a weapon or 10 pieces of ammunition. Silvering is no minor expense, my friends.
I don't know what better way to say this, but my plans were just to sell my services for bullets, which I'm not too proud to say, but it's an expensive, and I have about 18 gold pieces left in my name. But I have a friendly boss. I believe she may help me out.
Finch, I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
Can you bless water?
Can I bless water? I cannot. No.
Ceremony spell, yes you can.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have it prepared though, so.
Oh,
I asked her how to deal with these things, and she's like, "Go fetch one, and I'll tell you." We learned nothing. Damn it. I mean, we can't go back, obviously, but still.
We'll cast Speak with Dead for you for free. That's
no. I'm not complaining. I'm just realizing that. Yeah.
She's also standing right there too.
Right. I was saying yes. We should not
we moved. I thought you
nobody said they moved. No, nobody said that. Did anybody say that? No, I'm just giving you crap. It's all good. And even if you did, she doesn't give a shit. She's just kind of staring
spooky in there.
Creepily.
I think kind of people. Maybe okay, yeah. So maybe we like just kind of give our respects and respectfully leave the temple.
Yes.
She kind of keeps her eyes sort of. She seems to have taken as far as her creepy gothic stare goes, it seems to have definitely taken a vested interest into Easton as you all sort of leave.
Okay.
And I definitely am the last to leave. You know, I hate how comfy I feel here. You know, I'm like, this is nice. It's like a nice AC on a summer day. You know, and no.
Yeah, that's gonna make Finch feel creepy.
Ember's going to dig in the bag at his side, and he's going to take a handful of coins, and he's going to put a hand out to Jewel and another one to Easton. Go get what it is that you need, and he hands you each 100 gold.
This is very generous of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's the advantage of being members of the Concordant. You're now obligated.
Damn, Daddy Ember.
Yeah, right. with the floating fire pimp hand, handing out gold.
Pinky ring.
Yeah.
I got my bullet sugar daddy.
Do we have? Is there enough in the group bins for Zarvog to have?
No.
That's fine. I'm just asking.
No.
And Zarvog owes Jewel 50 gold as it is.
Yeah.
They don't know that. I don't know that.
That was 100 gold pieces, right?
Yeah, because it was 100 to do the weapon or get 10 pieces of ammo. The simple commerce side of things. Here's what you need to make it happen. Go make it happen, Cap.
If you would all excuse me for a few minutes, Joel would like to go to her contacts and see if she can get a discount for doing a job.
You go to you go there, you ask around, they go, give you a discount. Well, we're not smiths, what are you talking about?
Well, I could owe you a favor later.
Owe me a favor later?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of favor?
Oh, if you need something lifted, or as if you want a game run and collect all the profits from the game.
I mean, if you want to loan some money, we could talk, of course.
Oh, no.
I mean, yeah, obviously, like, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you know what we run here.
Yes, unfortunately I do.
I mean, if you want to do some work and make some money, sure. Like we could talk about that. I mean, didn't you make enough from your heist?
I have 2 weapons I would like to see.
I mean, we got work. We got work coming out of our asses, you know, with the fucking other team around.
Let's do some work.
All right. We'll set you up with a job, and yeah, he'll essentially begin to start like prepping you for like another heist, basically.
Okay.
But if you intend to like run around with the party, like you probably won't have time for that. In fairness,
Fair enough. Okay.
he goes, unless of course, I mean, we could do something like that, where it's an individual thing, but like, you know, what it is, you got yourself a couple of new friends. If you want to do something a little bit more, shall we say, group oriented, maybe there's a bigger payout. Maybe it's a more
I'm not
sooner
sure
payout.
if they see eye to eye with the same ideals as me.
Right. I'm just saying. You got
I will
work
keep
going
this in
around.
mind. 100%.
Alright.
Keep this in mind.
Can always use some enforcers, so to speak, or other things, whatever your preferences are.
Well, perhaps if you perhaps need a guard or something, then you'll be able to help. You will see.
I mean, yeah, we could always hire you guys as guards. I don't know how well the pay is. It's certainly not going to be as nice as your heist, right?
Oh, no, of course not. Of course not.
But yeah, if you wanted to do some like guarding of assets, we could organize something like that. But again, it would probably wouldn't be, maybe pay a little bit better than the average caravan guard, right? Maybe a little bit better for discretion and such, but you know, you're not gonna become wealthy off it.
Then I shall return.
All right, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you head off.
All right.
And I am gonna go probably to my place of work to buy some bullets to try and make, or
Oh, you gotta make those, buddy. Those are not in mass production.
yeah.
Yep, gather the materials for those babies. Okay, let's take a look. If you want to make some bullets, let's see. Musket bullets are 5 gold per 20. So if you wanted to do, and you could, from your shop that you're working at, 2 gold, 5 silver, and yeah, I think like Xanathars lets you do like 50 gold pieces of crafting a day, something like that.
Okay.
So you can probably make get those bullets done in like an hour. Like no big deal.
Okay.
Not a big deal at all.
And you said that's a
Yeah, you could do 50 gold pieces of progress a day in raw materials. So if you wanted to make more musket bullets, mark off 2 gold, 5 silver, and you can have them made in an hour.
Okay.
If you wanted to silver them, that's going to be a larger expense.
Yeah,
and probably more time.
Let me silver. You know what? I'll silver this batch.
Okay, so you're gonna make a fresh batch of bullets.
Yeah.
That's a 2 gold, 5 silver. It's gonna take an hour. And then you're into the big stuff. I'll say this can all happen in one day, but you got to spend the whole day doing it. If you mark off 50 gold pieces, that will cover the raw silver materials that you'll need in order to, or actually, if you want to do the whole batch, because it's per 10 pieces of ammunition, so mark off the 100 gold pieces.
Okay.
And you could do 10 bullets a day.
All right.
Because that's 50 gold pieces in crafting time, and that's a full day's crafting. So you make the bullets fairly quickly, fairly easily, and you can get 10 bullets silvered today.
Okay.
You got to spend the whole day doing it, though.
All right.
All right. So Joel could not get any favors within the organization. Go ahead.
Just sorry, just numbers and adding them to my sheet. With I have 10 bullets that are silvered, and what do I have as a total number of bullets? Because I started with 20 before I made these new ones.
Okay, so you had 20 before. You now have an additional 20 bullets. Okay. And 10 of those additional 20 bullets are silvered.
Okay, cool.
And you would have Out of what Ember gave you, you would have spent 50 of that gold.
Okay.
To buy the raw silver to begin the silvering process.
All right. Cool. So, all righty. So that leaves me at 66 and 10 of
Cool. Yep. So Easton takes off probably to return to his workplace and spend the day tinkering. Jewel takes off to go find some people in the city. What would Ember, Yvain, and Finch like to do?
I'm headed to the Tiefling brothers' tent.
Got it. Just so I know where everybody's going, Finch, Yvain, are you following, or do you guys have other plans?
I have other things that I'd like to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to all fuck off in our own directions, it seems.
Yeah, you're gonna take a day and prep, no problem. And Finch isn't with us for the moment, so I'm gonna assume. Oh, are you here, Finch?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Where are you headed?
Maybe I'll go back to this. Maybe I'll go back to the church, just because I like. There's nothing that I personally need to prep. So maybe I would go back to the church and just like see if there's more individuals who are coming in with like, you know, again talking about like the nightmares, if I can collect more information on that. So I think that that's what I would do, is just kind of continue to be at the church for a little bit until we're ready to go elsewhere.
Understood. So if that's the case, I'm going to start with Ember, give a little reprieve for things, and then we'll circle back to Yvain and Finch's conversation, and then we'll see what those two are up to. And then we'll come back and see if there's anything you wanted to do, Jewel, after talking to your contacts. So, Ember, you head off. Well, let me ask really quick, Jewel, did you have interest in joining Ember at any point?
If I can get what I want done in a reasonable amount of time, yes.
Okay. No other plans?
No, just find someone I can convince to give me a deal on 2 weapons silvered.
All right. Yeah, that's tricky because you're
perhaps in exchange for like bard services.
Bard services,
like singing, like birthday party, whatever.
And you're trying to like barter services. That's a really large expense, though. Let me think here. A bard isn't a. No, a bard would probably be like probably make like tips in the tavern or whatever, and they probably make decent tips. I'm gonna check something here really quick. Come on now. Okay. You're particularly well trained. If you want like 50% off, like
no,
like
I'm looking
it's
to save like maybe like save 25% off one weapon.
I think the only thing that like I'm just trying to think, given your background and like what would be reasonable.
Because if I can make
like
25 gold, then I can pay the whole thing. But otherwise, I have about like 185.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Make me a persuasion check. See if your guild, shall we call it, is willing to deal with you. Make a deal with you.
28.
I guess that's a yes. Says to you, fucking 28, man.
19 plus 9.
Okay, your guild says to you, or I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. We will, how much you make on your last heist?
100, I think it was.
800.
Yeah.
Says, all right, make you deal, all right? Your last heist was it was pretty good work in there. Run one of those again, because and sorry, let me ask again. I just want to get all my information correct. And how did you do on your rolls? Did you get perfect
I
rolls?
passed them all.
Pass them all, okay.
Yeah.
He says, all right, I'll make you a deal. All right, make you a good deal here.
Oh wait, except for the stealth. I think the stealth. Oh no, that was yesterday. It was Wendy. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that was Wendy. He says, all right, here's the deal. We got this noble we want to knock off, right? This noble in the Opal Ward. They got this beautiful ruby that they brought in. And we want it because it's shiny. And we love our shinies. So make you a deal. It's going to be tougher than the last heist. But we'll front you the money for this little investment of yours. And you do this heist for us. And we'll talk. Alright? So how's that? We pay for whatever you want. You do this heist for us. You get us our wonderful, wonderful ruby. And we're even. We're square. We make a profit. You get what you want. Everyone comes out winners. We're all friends.
All friends. Indeed.
Alright. Alright. It's just up to you how you'd like to do that heist. You could do it by yourself, or, if your friends are friendly, make your friends friendly.
I would not ask them to partake in my extracurricular activities.
You're the expert. However you want to do it, as long as we get ourselves that ruby. And we're gonna give you a month. I'm gonna give you a month to get us that ruby into our hands, alright?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so yeah. I'm gonna give this guy a name. I'm gonna give this guy a name if I can find out that you've been talking to this entire time. This is I'm gonna roll a little percentile dice and see like the identity of the individual. This face in the dark. Okay, yeah, so it's a human. They're mostly humans around here. So it's a human man by the name of Landon. Dark hair, 5 o'clock shadow. It only goes by Landon.
A real Flynn Rider.
Exactly. And he's your contact around here. Says, okay.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we get that gem in our hands by the end of the within a month from now, we'll I'll make it. You know what? I think it'd be good for the. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm actually going to slightly change the terms of that, and you let me know if this is fair. But I think this is fitting, and I think the boss is gonna like it. Why don't we say? And it's about the same time, so don't lose your head about it. Why don't we say, get me that gem by the Hazel Festival? Right? How's that sound?
And how long from now is the Hazel Festival?
It's on the 10th of next month, which means, today is currently the 28th. So you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That'd be 11 days. So that's he says, what do you say? No, that's okay. Yeah. He says, what do you say? Hazel Festival, ruby in hand. We front you 100 gold right now.
And she's thinking for a few moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The end is the festival, and it will do it.
Done. Comes in, shake hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right. Have fun. And he hands you 100 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, you can go silver whatever weapon you want on your person.
I want to silver my rapier and my dagger.
Your rapier and your dagger.
Yeah, I have 100 gold already, so that's fine.
Your rapier could be done by the end of the day. Your dagger can be done by the end of tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Fantastic. So that's what you get done. Yeah, he lets you get away with that. Cool. Okay. Oh, and he also says, all right, I'll add it to the debt. And yeah, now we're going to come back around as promised, and we're going to go to you, Ember. Maybe you'll meet up with Jewel at a certain point here, but you're going to be on your own just for a hot minute while we wait for that to happen. In the meantime, we're going to grab that mini. We're going to take you to the market. Where did I put down the market? Perfect. Let me change the music so that we're actually sounding like we're in a market here. Where are it's town day. Oh God. Okay, Ember. The most interesting man in Western starts walking down the street. As you go, you see that like there's a general flow of interest of people walking towards the market ward. And you find most of the stalls are largely not attended to until you get to one stall that has a lot of hustle and bustle around it. You walk up and you see guards and citizenry and all sorts of people gathered around this one stall. As you look around them all, you see two tieflings. They're dressed in very showy, very showmanship, sort of like mystic robes, if you will, reds and purples, very much sort of playing into like the tiefling aesthetic. They each have one horn on opposite sides of their heads. And let's see. You see these two twin tiefling mages, both of them men as far as you can see. And yes, they both have a single horn each on either side of the head. There's a dwarf at the front who is like looking eagerly as one of them reads the fortune, and they're like talking. You can't really hear what's being, or everyone kind of goes quiet to hear it and goes, "Terrible, you're sorry to say that these signs, the cards are telling me that you have a lot to look forward to in the future. If you eat an apple every day for the next couple days, you don't need to worry about this sickness that you've been dreaming of. I heard it. There's a legend from a faraway land about how if you eat an apple every day, you won't have to go to the doctor." He goes, "Really?" He goes, "Swear on me, mother." And he goes, all right, I'll do it. Thank you, sir, thank you." He goes, "Oh, silver, please." He goes, "Oh, of course. And he puts down 2 silver and he pops into his pocket. He goes, "Yes, next, please, next." And they're definitely serving 2 people at a time, and they're doing card readings, and people are gathering around, looking over shoulders, or not pushing each other. There's guards around, so they're like, "Oh, you calm down over there." But some people are definitely eager to get to the front of the line, and these guys seem to be making a killing. What do you do?
2 things.
Sure.
Do they have, as part of their showmanship, do they have like the arcane bric-a-brac, like the incense smoke stuff going, going all the way down that path?
There's absolutely a and you being like well, maybe an Arcana check. You definitely see that there for sure, but just want to give you a little more insight.
No, we're gonna spend it. Uh, 15.
15. Yeah, you see that there's like skulls with like candles heavily waxed down the side of it that are burning down, and incense that's creating like a little misty smoke in sort of the background, giving them this sort of like almost this sort of like nefarious thing. And they're like, "Don't be shy, please come, do not fear your dreams, we will help you interpret them." But you gather like it doesn't seem like there's any real magic at play here as far as you can tell. Like, they're not shooting off little prestidigitations, there's no minor illusions going off, but you definitely recognize like that there is a knowledge of arcane, that they are applying that knowledge of arcane through the use of like material components being used around here and there, but they're not actively making magical effects, as far as you can tell.
Okay. I'll kind of saunter to like this side of the crowd, and I'm gonna let Red go all gassy and
Yep.
let him slide in kind of along the floor and kind of mix with the existing smoke material.
Sure. Give me a stealth check for Red just to see if he makes it under the counter.
Uh, 15.
15. Yes. Without any issue, the smoke sort of makes its way around the heels of all the people gathered around. Definitely doesn't seem to be the focal point of attention. Sort of just makes his way underneath the counter and through the legs of the tiefling up behind and sort of joining the mist.
And once Red's embedded, I'll put myself in line to get a reading from
Fair enough.
this
Fair enough.
pair.
Absolutely. You wait a hot minute. You wait a little minute, but you do eventually get to the front. And he goes, "Oh, just choose your silver, sir." And he goes, "Oh, of course, my apologies." Guy pays him. He says, "Very well, have a wonderful day. Come back if you need any more guidance." Turns and sort of locks eyes with you and sort of extends a hand and says, "Welcome. Welcome to the Tiefling Brothers Dream Reading Stall. No doubt you've been having nightmares as well, my friend."
I certainly have.
I see.
Hoping that you can help define the nature and meaning of them. They've been exceptionally disturbing.
I understand. Well, my name is Nix, and this is my brother, Viral. And Viral just sort of like, he's like, and the mystic, and he sort of like gives you a little like wave, but it goes back to his reading. He says, "Allow me to help interpret these dreams of yours, sir. If you'd be so kind, as I'm sure it is difficult to relive, but I must know. What have you been experiencing in your dreams? What is it that I am reading for you?"
A lot of fire and death.
Fire and death.
Yes. Very disturbing.
Very disturbing. Can you elaborate? The more I know, the better I can help.
People trapped in buildings that are on fire, pinned under collapsing rubble, screams of pain and concern, as one would expect from buildings on fire.
I understand. And I understand these things are certainly of a sensitive matter, so I will not try and... I need to know more, but I do not wish to pry too deeply. So let me simply ask you this. Is there these buildings here in Westrim, or are they from somewhere far away?
Somewhere far away.
Ah, I see. You're certain?
Absolutely.
I see. Very well. Let us begin the reading then. And he will begin to get out his cards, and he's going to start laying down a couple of cards. And he says, "Fire and death, you say? Well," he says, "let's see. I'm seeing a woman. I'm seeing a woman related to these events. Someone important to your material world, perhaps something to do with your finances or your family or your job. Does that sound off at all, or is that something that makes sense to you?"
It makes a little sense, yes.
I see. Who does this make you think of in your life, perhaps?
I have an elderly mother that leaps to mind.
May I ask, is she in this dream of yours?
In passing.
In passing, I see.
She has questions, but I can't seem to remember what they are or make them out. I know there were questions.
Questions. I see. All right, well, let me draw another card and see what the cards have to say. All right, let's see. I have an 8 of Wands here. This is to do with change, especially sudden change, like a lightning strike. Something changed in your life and changed you forever. Maybe something that happened to your mother that changed things forever. Did this happen in your dream at all? Was there, you say fire and death. This usually happens quite suddenly. Is this...
The change that went on in my mother's time was very sudden.
I see. And the last card I've drawn is the card, the Two of Cups. This has to do with lovers and new relationships. Is your mother married?
She was.
And is your father still around?
He's passed.
I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. I'm sorry to hear that. If I'm looking at the cards right, perhaps your dream had a lot to do with family. Your father, your mother. Perhaps it's time to return to your mother and amend what has happened between the two of you. Whatever change happened in her life, perhaps it's affecting her greatly now, and maybe your conscience is steered towards her. Maybe you should return to your mother, and maybe you should speak to her of her father. Perhaps she has currently found a new paramour in life and requires the guidance of her lovely son. Maybe that is what will help you overcome your dreams.
That's an interesting thought.
I see a future for you. Wherever your mother is, that is where you should be.
I appreciate your insight.
And I'm glad for your time, friend, and thank you for your trust. And if you ever wish to return for another reading, it's only 2 silver.
And Ember will pull out 2 silver and slide it across. Thank you so very much.
It was my pleasure. Anything to help. And hopefully get some sleep, my friend.
I will try.
Very well. All right. Next. And with that, you're as there is a long line, you find yourself replaced. I'll say at this point, Jewel, you're sort of like wandering around the street. Maybe you met your contact in an alley nearby, and you do see the booth, and maybe were attention drawn, sort of see Ember milling about over there.
Sorry, I have to take this call. I'm sorry.
No problem. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Ember?
I just want to kind of sit myself somewhere out of the way, not in line of sight, because I'm going to be hearing and listening through Red for the remainder of the outing, because I want to try to get any candid, behind the scenes scoop, and get an idea of exactly what the take is.
Understood. Easily enough, you find a stall nearby that's just sort of like a little beverage and eatery stand, just sort of like on the street. And you can go there and you can sit down for like a drink and sort of just like milk that drink and see through your familiar. And like I said, like the business is big right now. So they're doing readings pretty much nonstop. One of them will sort of stand up and like take a little break, and they'll fill their chest with all of the silvers they have in their pockets and lock it up tight. Have a little water break, a little food break. And kind of go back to the readings. And a lot of the readings, you hear tons of readings. If you want to try and glean any particular insight out of the readings, if there's anything special about what they're saying in the readings, you can make an insight check.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, and I don't get it.
Okay, sorry to say. Oh, that's too bad. You listen to these readings, and to the point where you're like, your brain's going a little bit numb. Like, they seem to be very insightful. Maybe there's magic in the cards. They seem to be very, at the very least, I'll give you, Ember, they seem to be very charismatic individuals. Very sort of able to sort of be like get the truth of their dreams out of people and be very kind about it and very gentle with those individuals. Yeah, and you hear tons and tons and tons of readings, but unfortunately don't glean anything special out of the readings themselves. And you'll be here for a while.
That's perfectly fine.
Cool. I'll tell you what, we'll come back around to you in a minute when Jules available. And in the meantime, why don't we hit up Finch and Yvain, because they wanted to have a conversation. Or Yvain wanted to have a conversation anyway.
Yvain actually probably needs to go to the Temple of Melora first.
Okay.
Have that conversation at the end of the day.
Got it. So Finch is gonna head to their temple, and Yvain's gonna head to her temple. Palmet! And we'll bring you over to yours. So why don't we stick with you, Yvain, for the moment, as you head to the Temple of Melora. Look, here's my Temple of Melora. You wander on inside. It's not as... I only have so many options for an exterior, so it's sorry about how gothic it looks. But yeah, you walk inside and you see that there's various like biomes that are sort of being tended to, and the priests are here and there. What would you like to do here?
Well, I'd like to find a loft.
Hello. She's right there.
Excellent.
Yes, you find this priestess with her long green robes and bald head with the intricate vine tattoos up the back of her scalp. And she smiles at you and says, "Welcome back, becoming a regular here."
Yeah, so I've a question. I think you've picked up that a lot of my talents, I just sort of picked them up. Like I'm just sort of learning how to do things, in a more formal way here. And so we've been asked to go and look into something going on in the Bramblewood, and we suspect that there may be undead involved. And the last time we faced undead, it was really scary, and I was wondering if you know of any way to bring someone back from the dead.
Bring someone back from the dead?
Yeah, like, let's say we're fighting, and in the middle of the fight, like at the last moment, something horrible happens, and I don't make it in time. So if I don't make it in time, but if I like just missed it, like, is there a way to reverse it?
Yes. Yes, there absolutely are. It's a rare magic, and one that is only granted by divine beings, usually. And I've heard rumor that people of your skill set, druids, have similar abilities, but for the most part, it is we clerics and we of the divine who do possess certain rituals, certain very difficult to perform rituals, that can indeed bring the dead back, depending on how long they've been gone for. It's not something that's very common, and not looked on always kindly, depending, but it does exist.
I mean, we are going on a quest at the behest of the Temple of Bahamut, so it's not like we're just going out a bit for coin.
Oh, please understand, resurrection rituals, they, it's tricky. We here, in the Temple of Melora and the Wild Mother, if a cleric of the Wild Mother tries to bring someone back, that magic has been granted to that cleric in trust, and thus that trust goes along with them. We here at this temple certainly don't have many issues with it, as long as you're not, bringing back someone terrible. But, well, it's interesting to see how the Raven Queen would feel about it. You understand the life and death process and all, but it is a life being returned, and things get a little more complicated in that sect of religion, but the Temple of Melora doesn't frown upon it.
So where would I go if I wanted to, look over the ritual real quick in case I happen to need it, tomorrow or the day after?
You are druid, yes?
Yeah.
It is not something I believe you're capable, your skill set would be capable of. And I'll ask above board. Maybe I'm just fucking up here. Do druids possess Revivify?
Yes, we do.
Ah, okay, never mind. I take it back. She would know that better than me. She says, I can walk you through the steps. Yes. Why don't we take a minute and I could take you to perhaps a more private setting, and I could discuss the steps with you, and we can just figure out if you have indeed the magical prowess to pull off such a resurrection. Yes, please, right this way. And she will take you to the back room and sort of like settle you down and say, all right, well, the first thing that most of these rituals require is diamonds. You see, the diamonds are more than just beautiful crystals. They hold within them a small piece of magic, divinity. There's a connection with the souls of individuals that diamonds possess like nothing else on the material plane. That would be the material components. And she speaks to you about your skill level, your powers, what spells you've been capable of. And she says, yes, well, I think you would be capable of performing a resurrection ritual known as Revivify. And this is one that must be performed very quickly, and it is a personal one between the caster and the soul of the departed. It must be done very, very quickly, as fast as humanly possible, or it will fail outright. If you're done quick enough, you will have to beseech the soul to return in whatever way you know how. And even with all the diamonds and all the magic in the world, there will be souls that won't be willing to return. You must understand this. You see, when a soul dies, it moves on. And if that soul is soul like perhaps yours, and your friend who came in the other day, perhaps they're a heroic soul. And those souls are often claimed by the gods. For you, it may well be Melora if you're a druid, or perhaps there's a god that speaks to you a little bit more intensely. I do not know, that is your business, but that god will seek your soul, go to their realm, and you might find yourselves in an endless, beautiful expanse of gardens where your hopes are flourish and your fears fade away forever, and you might not be willing to return to such a difficult world as this in the wake of that. And that goes for any soul, good or bad. So this is something you must be aware of. Death is very hard to deal with, and sometimes it's permanent. Most of the time, it's permanent.
All right. Thank you. I'll be gone for a couple of days, and depending on what we find out, I might be gone for a couple of days more. I look forward to be coming back. And she will...
Well, as you go, know that we'll be expecting you to return safe and sound, hopefully, with whatever adventure you find yourself on. But know, while this temple cannot go with you, Melora's embrace is anywhere you step outside your door. So if you feel lonely on the road, take a moment. She's there with you. As long as there's grass under your feet, or the sky above your head, or rock, or waves, she's all around you. Hear her voice if you're lonely.
Thank you. And she'll
give you a hug.
Yay!
And then she'll let you and Happy go. And she gives Happy she regards Happy and says hello and says goodbye to Happy and pays respect to the creature as well.
I love her so much. Now let's go to find Finch.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll take care of your conversation. If it's an end of the day conversation, we'll take care of that at the end of the day. Finch, we're gonna travel over to the Temple of Bahamut. Bahamut's Rest.
Yeah, buddy.
You find yourself there. What were you doing again?
I think in this downtime, I think just kind of maybe going back to a little bit of the service that I was performing, continuing to see if like the individuals from the town are still like kind of coming in, like expressing their concern, just trying to like absorb like the vibes. Spooky vibes.
And you'd been hearing that people, like children specifically, have been going missing. Just to make sure I'm being absolutely... Yeah, children have been going missing in the nightmares, and you tend to a number of people, and one woman comes in, tears streaming down her face, a woman that you saw earlier in the week and consulted her about poor dreams, and she comes to you and she goes, Paladin Finch! Paladin Finch! My baby's going from the crib! What do I do?
Oh, okay, so I'll calm her, and like I'll put my hands like on her, like on her shoulders, and like kind of give her like a little squeeze, and I'll just try and like get her to calm down a little bit, and I'll say, okay, tell me what happened. You said your baby is missing. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, baby's gone. I woke up in the morning, and just like always, and as the sun came up, I woke up and I went to go check in on April, and she was gone from the crib. The window was open.
Okay, all right.
I swear I locked that window.
And I'm sure you did. I'm very sure that you did. This is definitely not something that's your fault. I appreciate you coming here, and seeking comfort in the church and the temple. I will take this information and we will work on finding your baby. You said her name was April. April. Right?
April, that's right. My baby's name is April. Okay. She can't even walk. She's never gotten out of the crib. She was always a good girl. She never fussed or nothing.
I believe it. I believe it. And like I said, this is not. And I'll try and like again like squeeze her shoulders. I'll try and calm a little bit, and I'll reassure her that like this is not her doing, because I'm sure that like any parent would probably like be beside themselves thinking that they did something wrong. And I'll assure her that like that there's been. I'll let her know that I'm sure that the town is very well aware that something strange is afoot, just because you said there's like, tarot readings in the marketplace. So I'll just say that, there definitely have been some strange happenings around here, and myself and some of my compatriots are working on a resolution, but we will work on finding your daughter. I promise.
You're going to rescue her? You're going to rescue April?
We will do our best. I don't want to promise you an outcome because we don't know exactly what we're dealing with, but you have my word that we will do our best to recover your daughter.
Please, you're a paladin. Yep, you're a hero. You can do anything. Promise me, please.
I promise you that we will do the best that we can to recover your daughter.
And she just sobs, and she definitely like has a moment there where she tries to compel your word that you would seek and find her daughter, and you don't, and which is completely fair. And sobbing mother, and you probably spend quite a bit of time with her. And I would say that like as Yvain's like like going to see Finch, might like maybe not to your knowledge, Finch, but maybe peeks in, sees this scene of you like consoling this desperate mother. And maybe gives that some space. And maybe you guys will reunite in the evening. But yeah, you come face to face with a woman with the loss of her child, and other people who are talking about their dreams. And this woman's even like, my dreams came true. She is gone.
For sure.
Yeah, and she's like, I was scared she was going to go missing, and then she goes missing. I don't know. And she's losing, and some people are like, what good is Holman if he can't save one child? And just people like...
Blaspheming now like, in the church.
I know, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm just so desperate. And yeah, people are just like, you just see it's taking a real toll on people. All these dreams, lack of sleep, and now the loss, and children just being taken right out of their beds. Okay. If that is all and you continue your religious service, we're going to... Why don't we transport over to Ember and Jewel, as Ember is going to be doing a lot of eavesdropping via Smoky Hand. And Jewel, yeah, you catch when you see Ember sort of just like sitting at a stall having a drink about two stalls over from the dream reading place.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you'd like to do?
I will sit with him, and I will pull out my lute, and I will just pluck the strings idly.
Got it. Ember, and Ember doesn't really, just like kind of like swishing the drink in his hands and doesn't regard you at all. Kind of rude, actually. Like, you're right there, you're playing music, and Ember just completely ignores you. Doesn't even look at you.
And I kind of do one of these. Look a little bit. Bring, 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 bring.
Nothing. Ember
Absolutely
seems
nothing.
to... No reaction from Ember
Yeah,
whatsoever. Nothing.
Huh. And I look around. And I just sit there for a little bit just to see if he comes to, because he seems to be awake. But would I know if he's like doing some spell related thing?
Make an Arcana check.
That is a 15.
15?
Yeah.
You've heard tales about wizards and other magic users and their relationship with their familiars, and how sometimes familiars are used as spies, and how some arcanists seem far away at times when their familiar's on the prowl, and you're like, okay, maybe he's doing like a little like familiar magic action here.
Okay.
Ember, do you think you come out at all at any point?
Probably periodically, just to make sure that I haven't been pickpocketed, stabbed, any of those good things. But with the town guard watching all the hubbub, the odds on that are probably a little on the thin side. So,
well, you're lucky, because the person who'd be pickpocketing you has been sitting beside you as a friend for the last little while. Possibly, who knows? But yeah, you sort of come to the sound of like strumming music, and you look to your left and you see Jewel just sort of like kind of like haphazardly playing, maybe a little curious, like pretending not to care that you're but is there and sees you nonetheless, right next to you.
Ember will rub his eyes and stretch a little, because he's probably been hunched over there for a while.
Is there something wrong with your drink?
No, it's a little warm now. I'll need to get a new one. I'm primarily paying attention to the Tiefling stall across the way there.
And she'll look. Ah, yes, he seems to have a lot of business today.
They've made 4 trips each to their lockbox with a lot of silver. Business has been very, very good.
I see. Is it on the up and up?
I'm not a diviner by nature.
I see.
But I don't get the feeling that there is actual magic at play. But that's perception, and it may be an error.
I see.
They've been very, very busy, and have been spelling one another periodically for breaks and that sort of thing. But I haven't caught any candid conversations yet.
I see.
But it's my intent to try to piece some of that together, perhaps. But when I'm focused on what's going on over there, I'm largely oblivious to what's going on right here.
I noticed. You're very
It's
fortunate that your wallet is still intact.
I figured it was reasonably safe because it's tucked into a space that's not easy to get at.
Mm, mm. You would be surprised.
And there's a good deal of guards.
You would be surprised.
And I may well be.
Mm, mm. Perhaps I shall take a little walk by and listen to some conversations.
It was interesting. I paid to have a reading just so I could get, an up close perception, but I'm not somebody who's good at I'm not good at deceit. Meaning that I tend to take people at their word.
Yes, I understand. You're a very trusting individual. To a point.
Until it turns sour, because if there's a first mistake to be had, I would rather be the one in error.
I see. Well, like I said, perhaps I will listen to some of the conversation. Perhaps I can pick up something that you may not understand.
By all means, I think that it's possible that they too have had nightmares or have heard of what was going on and saw an opportunity and are making
profit of other people suffering. I understand.
They're making money while the opportunity is hot.
Yes.
There's market factors involved. There's a lot of demand. It's a very small supply, so they can charge. They can charge what they like.
Clever idea. Yes.
But there's. I hate to say this because I've been burned enough times that sometimes the problem is created, so the solution becomes available.
I understand.
Which is why I wanted to check out their things after seeing the flyers this morning. But by all means, if you probably have a better handle on people than I do, I'm primarily a cook, so I don't necessarily deal with people.
Perhaps I have seen them before, and perhaps I may know something about them.
By all means, take a peek. See.
You, sir, stay out of your little vision to protect yourself. I will not be long.
Okay.
And would I recognize these Tiefling brothers?
You ain't never seen them before. Well, I'll let you do a little check. Why not? Make me we're just gonna call it a flat D20. This is just like a chance check more than anything. 19. You know for a fact they're not local. You have been around here for a while. You have not seen them. They only seem to have appeared within 19. I'll say that like the first time you saw them and you did see one of the two of them was a couple days before you met all these guys.
Okay.
So probably got in town recently. You could always talk to your network. They're fairly well informed.
Yes.
But that's as far as you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are they speaking in thieves' cant to each other?
These two, as you walk over, you don't hear any sign of thieves' cant.
Okay.
But you do hear them doing the readings and such. And if you want to stand there for a little while, you could definitely make me an insight check. See how that goes.
10.
Nothing seems particularly unorthodox about all of this. The two of them seem to start their readings pretty much the same way, where they're like, "Welcome, here's my name, this is my brother. Tell me about your dreams." They always ask them to like extrapolate a little bit more. They'll always say, "Is this somewhere here? Is this someone far away? Is that something that happened in Western?" It is. What? Tell me more. Um, uh, they seem to definitely have interest into like dreams that have to do with Western specifically. At least they'll just like ask to extrapolate a little bit more than they do if it's like, "Oh, I'm from Amon." They'll be like, "Oh, okay, you're from Amon," and that might just be because they know the city better. You're not sure, but that's what you get. They seem to be on the up and up, and they seem to be very good at what they do. Very good talkers.
How do their eyes compare to the eyes I saw in the dream?
Um, they both have red eyes. They both have
Red
like
eyes, okay.
red eyes that sort of glow a little
Okay.
bit. Yeah.
All right, so I'll listen for my little while and I'll walk back to Ember.
Okay.
I have not seen these men in town for more than a couple days. They're new.
And the dreams are a relatively new phenomenon as well.
Yes, the dreams happened, to my knowledge, after they were here for a little bit.
Cause and effect, perhaps.
They're very, very interested in Western and the happenings here. Not so much in other places.
How hard is it to get a stall here in the market? Do you know?
Well, you know the right people. You can get one very easily.
But if you're new, then it might be a tougher thing to set up on short notice.
Perhaps. Or they have money, and money takes you places.
Well, they certainly seem to be turning a small bankroll.
Of course. I think they would be good to keep an eye on. At least for a little while, just to see if anything else comes up from that. However, for now, they seem to be on the up and up. I know people in town who can keep an eye on them, and it will not be a dangerous thing for them.
I think that might not be the world's worst idea.
I
don't know if this incident in the Briarwood is connected to all of the dream shenanigans. It might be, it might not be. But
if it turns out it is not connected, then you should look into these guys next.
That is exactly my thought. And if you've got contacts that can keep an eye on them, I won't have to figure out how to more permanently embed red.
It will cost us fruits and candies, and they would be more than happy to help us.
No, that's easily enough doable.
Yes. Let me go talk to them. Perhaps I will see you at dinner?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
I will spend a couple of minutes, but I've got an above table question to ask you, Ryan.
Sure.
If I have Red put himself in their lockbox in gaseous form, can he give a rough count to the volume of coins in the box?
You could certainly try, but it's definitely possible, depending on the perception check.
Because that's my next do item. I mean, judging by the number of people, they're putting a good volume
Mm-hmm.
of a clip in there.
They probably spend like 10 minutes at most on a reading if the person's really persistent or if it's a very intricate reading. You don't get any sense of pushiness from them. It's not like, okay, 2 gold. Like, they're really just sort of like making as much money as possible. Like, they'll sit and they'll take their time with it if the person wants them to. But at most, they spend 10 minutes on a reading with an individual. Maybe a little longer in rare cases. So they're putting out, between the 2 of them, 4 silver every 10 minutes. And that's what they've been doing for the last little while, and that thing has just been, they've been adding coin pretty quickly. So yeah, if you want the hand to go inside, make me a perception check with Red's skills. Oh, excuse me.
Red can't count.
What'd Red get?
Red rolled a 1, giving him a 3.
Okay, I'll say for whatever reason, Red just like can't get into the chest. Like, can get in like a pretty thin space, but it's locked with like a separate padlock. It's not like a lock built into the chest. And it's just like struggling to actually find that inch of vault of hole there to actually move his gaseous form through, and can't quite get inside to make that perception check. Okay, so tell you what, let's do Jules' meeting with the Tieflings, and then we'll go to a break.
No, Jules,
so let's
meet
get
with the street urchins.
Oh, maybe the street urchins to like purchase a stall.
No, to watch the guys.
Okay, you're just gonna hang out and just kind of keep an eye out.
Yeah,
or
they're gonna watch them for me for a couple days, and I keep them fed and happy.
Okay, yeah. You walk up to the different stalls, and what's the plan? You're gonna like, oh yeah, you go up to them, and we'll just pick any one of them, and this will just kind of work for all of them. Person goes, "You want me to watch them for you? Why am I watching? What do I get out of it?"
I give you 10 copper and a candy.
Maybe a persuasion check. Go ahead and take advantage for free money.
I don't need advantage. 19.
19 goes, candy and 10 copper. Sure. Yeah, you got yourself a deal. No problem.
That was 19.
Come by whenever you want an update. Sorry?
It was 19 plus 9 as well.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, the person's like, yeah, come for a silver and a candy. Come by anytime. I'll tell you what I've seen.
Sounds good. Same
Soaking up my business all day. I'll be happy to rattle them a little bit. You definitely get the sense that they're like, the merchants around here are a little like they're absorbing all the attention. Like,
yeah.
Everyone's got different wares, but like people are more interested browsing over there, which is drawing some business.
All right.
So some people are happy. They're like, oh yeah, they're bringing a lot of interest to the market, which means my stall's getting a little more work. And other ones are like, they're taking all the attention away. People walk by my stall to go there. But all of them seem willing to tell you a little information when you want it.
Right, Joe's gonna purchase an apple and a candy from the vendors and give them to the kid as a advance payment.
Awesome. Fucking 2 copper.
Okay,
2 copper. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, fantastic. With that, the stalls are going to keep an eye on their stall for you. You guys could sort of begin to leave as they begin to close up shop if that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, all right, that's it for the day. Thank you, everybody, and we will be open tomorrow at the same time. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Good night. Good night. Try to get some sleep. Yes, goodbye. And they begin to sort of go to packing up their stuff. When we come back from break, you can.
Yes. Okay.
But yes, absolutely. Okay, we'll be back in a minute, folks.
All right, I'm going to take this chance to do my Spanish.
$8 right?
Oh yeah. Oh right, you got the new guy. I forgot all about that. Let me toss him in there for you.
Is our new armor ready? Because I've got it. I sent you.
Let me check my calendar. Nope, not ready yet.
Because we took it's been a week.
Yeah, you got. Oh yeah, your armor. It's the plate armor that's not ready, but your
Plate armor's 15
breastplates. Yeah, plate armor's 15 days. That's gonna take a little longer, but I believe they got the breastplate done a lot faster.
That means Yvain and Czar, because I've already taken all the. I acted as though I paid them all up front and shit. So stuff. So yeah.
I need to go
my
grab
breastplate on, y'all.
your new mini. That's my bad. That's my bad. Let me get that.
I sent you money earlier, and I will just send you another $8 when the session's over.
Sounds very good.
What's that?
Give Rocco a snuggle. Show them Rocco. They've not seen Rocco yet.
I haven't been on Hero Forge in a minute.
He's about to fall down. He's like half asleep. Go to bed.
Give the poor creature mess. This character uses face customizer beta. Currently can't be opened. Enable the beta in the settings menu. It's out for everyone soon. Well, I can do that because I got that subscription power.
Yeah, that's a dark magic. Hero Forge is already grown. It's got a nice little community too.
I want that max resolution. Are they kidding me? Enable face customization beta. Give me the faces. Hell yeah. All right.
Did you find it? Do you need me to send it again?
If you'd send it again, that wouldn't be hurtful.
I will.
Do you want me to send mine again?
No, I got yours. I'm working on it right now.
Okay, cool.
Working on it right now. There he is. There's that beautiful man. Yeah. So manly. So scarred.
He was just sitting there the whole time, just being like, "What does she mean by marked for death? Was that like a little playful inside joke?" No, he knew
marked for death.
Yeah, he knew exactly. But
well, I guess technically, yeah, that means you've been marked for death. Hey, guys, remember, you've all been marked for death. You're mortal creatures.
Thanks, Ryan. That's a nice look.
Yeah, that felt a little darker than I meant it to. Sorry, guys. I have my bad moments, okay?
Where do you want this? Do you want it in the
Facebook
coming in the Facebook?
Anywhere in Facebook would be fantastic. Thank you.
Alrighty, I am going to put it in the group chat. I did not change Happy's horn to the unicorn one. It's still the other one because I didn't save it because I was a big dummy.
Hey, that's quite all right. You are forgiven for your sins. All right, let me just get this one. We'll get back on the road.
Hey, Bahamas.
Damn, did I actually already get this one down? I might have already taken.
Yay, the Garfield mug.
That's
nice. I definitely bought this as a joke, and now I just use it all the time because it's like a nice big mug. And yeah.
I have a Wonder Woman mug that's about the same size.
Amazing. Yeah, when I bought it, I definitely didn't anticipate it to be like this size, but it's like a nice,
good hefty mug.
Yes, good hefty mug.
I like
this. I'm going to be in town a second day, but that's cool because I got something else I want to do.
Gonna go visit Honor. Gonna go see your girlfriend.
No, I'm going to sit in the library and find out about the legend of the Who's You Want to Say.
With your girlfriend.
I mean, it'd be nice, but no. I went to the house. I'm giving her space. Oh. I need to respect her desire, if it is so, to want to ghost me, right?
To ghost me?
Oh, damn! Never accept defeat, you babe. Never take no for an answer.
Look, when you know, you know.
Wow. That's some pretty.
Even dating in D&D is brutal. Fuck.
That's some pretty interestingly colored chitin, I'll admit.
I that was the best I could find. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, dude. You're good. Hey, it's your mini. Whatever you want, you get.
You know what? They were so impressed. They got enameled. I was going to. Well, no, I'll wait.
What color is it?
All right.
Because if I update
it's like
Quint,
dark, like
a dark red.
like a pink.
Like lipstick red.
Oh,
Like yeah, it's like a lipstick
Is it like a
metallic
cherry popsicle?
with like cobalt finish.
Is it like a cherry popsicle?
I guess we
It's
see it.
it's more like a come fuck me red.
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
I follow. I get it. I know what you're saying.
Everyone knows what shade it is.
I
Everybody
prefer
in this
to call them
Zoom
red
knows what
lipstick
shade it is.
for
For sure.
red.
For sure.
I like how the minis like come fuck me red, but the armor in game is like I'm wearing bug.
Hey, you know what? I don't kink shame.
Hey, I don't kink shame either. That's fair. I should keep my
Yeah.
mouth shut.
Yeah.
Um,
Snoring, I promise I'm awake. It's this.
hey, if you guys see
It's
me
my
as
boy.
it's the
Oh my
Hey,
gosh,
if you
look
see
at
me
that
as-
chonk.
I promise I'm not
Yeah,
bored.
he's a big snorer and he's one of the children. So.
That dog is the
Alright.
cutest thing I've ever seen.
The new
Right?
minis are incoming. In the meantime, let's get back to it.
Alrighty.
So, Easton's doing a lot of work. Finch is doing Finch stuff. We're gonna get to Finch and Yvain. I just want to wrap up here with Jewel. So they're wrapping up their stall. They're closing down. Sun's going down. And yeah, like let's get that scene going. Yeah, everybody's like, oh, they're like, yes, we'll bring a crystal ball tomorrow. Yes, off you go. Good day, good day. He looks at the two brothers look at each other and they just kind of start talking. And the hand basically got, well, how did you do? How do we think we did today, brother? Because I think we did very well. And I guess, oh, good. Drinks are on you. And he goes, all right, let's go. And they're gonna go on. They're gonna take their chest and they're gonna put what's left in there and they're gonna lock it up tight. They're both gonna take a side of the handle and they're like, all right, best to drop this off before getting to anywhere else. Let's see. And they sort of make their way out the back door. And they make their way through like a gate and they'll talk to some of the other merchants. They go and they go, how'd you hold today? And they go, well, nope, as well as I think you did. Oh, that's too bad. It's too bad. Make small talk with the other merchants. They're going to make their way out. And that is the last thing Red will see. Jewel, if you wish to tail him, make me a stealth check.
That is a 13 plus 6, 19.
Think that do the job. All right. Let me see. I gotta go remember where they're headed. That's itchy. Let's see. Let's see how they're. Is this really the only? Come on. Come on. The wiki says there's literally only one known fucking tavern in the entire damn city. Stupid. Let's see here. No, there's nothing else. All right, we're making one up.
The toad in the hole.
The toad in the hole, the blushing mermaid. Something like that. We're gonna make a good. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yes, my bad guy drawing.
Ooh.
We're there now. I don't like this one. Make a new one. Generate a new one. I want a new one. Sure. These names suck. These places suck. Oh, this. Okay, no, that still sucks. Sorry, guys, this generator's fucking awful. Okay, we're going to get a new one. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like that. Okay, you guys see them as they go with their coin. They sort of walk along, and the guards will begin to. They sort of like walk along with the merchants as they go. You get the sense that this is where crime would hit right now, where all the merchants are leaving. So this is sort of the last thing that you would know very well, Jewel. This is the last thing the guards do before they turn the watch, is sort of like make sure all the merchants are getting back to their, assigned residences, so there isn't a mass economic failure. And they probably have like an escort of like probably like 2 guards, and they just kind of like follow them along, and they go to the Opal Ward, actually, to the more expensive district in the city, and they drop them off at a very fine inn called the Daring Crystal.
Ooh.
It is wood with a slate roof, 2 stories tall, like many places around here. It's a rather large building structure, but very decadent, very beautiful. Fine curtains, very well maintained. This is definitely would be considered like a wealthy tavern or inn. Not an aristocratically so, but a wealthy one. And it's probably for that reason well guarded. So you follow them there. They kind of make their way in. The guards say, "All right, see you tomorrow morning. Off I go." And they go, "Have a good day off. Have a good day, guardsman." They walk away. If you make your way into the tavern, you're this is where you're like, "Oh, this gets a little trickier. I'm gonna stick out like a sore thumb around here," because everyone here is very fine, not very finely dressed, but finely dressed. And a shady rogue will draw a little tension. But you can kind of like
bard.
maybe not a shady bar, but it's okay. Your stealth check works out anyway. It's just a matter of flavor at this point. Where maybe you walk in and you kind of like go over and you're like, "Hey, how's it going? Let me play in your tavern right now." And they're like, "What? Just let me play in your fucking tavern." And they're like, "Okay, sure. Okay, sit to get tips over there." And you go over and start strumming away, and they both make their way. They sort of like smile to the innkeeper. Innkeeper like walks over, starts going over a ring of keys, and they walk upstairs. Do you follow them upstairs?
No.
No. You stay down in the bar. They sort of disappear upstairs with their with their chest, and they are not up for very long. The innkeeper comes down with them, actually, chest gone. And they sort of smile, say a little thanks, and they sit down. A waiter, or not a bard's mate, a waiter, comes over with 2 glasses of wine. The 2 of them smile and cheers their glasses, have a little drink. And they just sort of like seem to shoot the shit. As far as you can tell, as you play your music in the corner, make me a performance check.
11 plus 6? Yes, so 17.
17. I'm gonna say you make 3 silver, just to sort of like tips. And because like you're not going for the best performance of your life, you're trying to blend in here. So you're just kind of playing like a little background ambient
He wants to be forgettable.
Exactly, want to be a little forgettable. So you get some like courtesy tips here and there, but you're not going for anything extravagant. So you just kind of play what people want to hear. And they seem to just drink and shoot the shit, and they go like, "What is the strangest dream that you heard today?" He says, "Well, one individual was actually talking about an experience he had after he got out of school with a young lady," and he goes, "Oh, tell me about that one." And they begin to sort of talk, and he goes like, "Well, gods, really? That's despicable." And they just kind of have a little laugh and says, "Oh, well, that one was all right." And he says, "There was this one person who was talking about," and they just kind of shoot the shit about some of like the funnier dreams they heard that day. And they go like, "Oh, well, I told this man that he should return to see his mother, and and I think that'll work." And he goes, "Yeah, that'll get it work. That should probably take care of any dreams. I mean, they're gonna go." Get out of the city. It seems to be affecting the city, and they get to see their mother, so their conscience will be clean. And they just kind of just talk and shoot the shit, but not for very long. They finish their glasses of wine, and they head upstairs and seem to disappear upstairs to wherever their room and lodging may be.
Okay, so Jewel will play for just a couple more minutes and pack up and go outside and just keep an eye open, see if she can see any guards, and head around the back of the tavern, whatever, and see if she can climb the side of the building towards where their room might be and try to listen in that way.
Make me an investigation check to see if you can figure out which room belongs to them.
16 plus 5, 21.
21, carrying over your stealth. 21. You don't find their room. You are very thorough in your investigation. There's a couple of, at this time of night, about half of all of the rooms have their curtains closed. So you you go around, you look in some place and you're like, oh shit, shouldn't be looking in there. Other places are empty. Other places people have already gone to bed. But a lot of the curtains are closed. You go there, you press your ear to the glass and you hear a little muffling of certain people and you're like, no, not there. And you check all the rooms. There's a number of rooms with the curtain closed where you don't hear anything. There could be people asleep inside. They could already be out. Maybe they went to bed. Whatever it may be, you don't find their room from the outside of the building.
Okay. Then I will keep the information that I thought of and that I heard and head back to the others.
Got it. I will say, the windows are locked, but if you wanted to proceed with your investigation, like poke your head into all of the rooms with a thieves' tools check, you could do that if you wanted to.
Let's try that.
Okay, maybe a thieves' tools check.
18 plus proficiency. So that is 18 plus 6. 24.
24. 24 will meet through these locks. It is tricky, especially considering you're kind of doing this one-handed a little bit because you're climbing.
Yeah.
So it is tricky, but you do manage to sort of get the first lock and get it up, and then all of them get easier after the first one, and you start poking your head in here and there. You're stealthy enough where you just kind of get an eye between the curtains, and you see people sleeping, you see some rooms empty, you see some people in other extracurricular activities, and you look and you look and you look and you look. You don't go to any of the rooms with single beds. You're like, okay, that's obviously not them. So you sort of narrow it down to a couple of rooms that are empty with either double beds or 2 single beds, but you don't find them again. They went upstairs and they seem to not be in any of the rooms in this inn for whatever reason.
Can I investigate these empty rooms?
Yeah, you could hop in. You could take a look around if you want.
Okay.
It's going to take the larger part of the night because that's a lot of surface area.
Yeah.
But yes, you can. Jesus. Let me think here. Oh, no. Sorry, I got to think about something.
Take your time.
This one. This is interesting. Okay, you're looking around the rooms. You are going to see some valuables sort of left out here and there. And you're going to make 17 silver pieces.
No, I'm not going to rob. I'm not going to rob.
You're not going to rob?
No,
okay.
I'm not touching anything. I'm just looking around.
God, you're just looking around. You do see some people have left, nothing of magnificent expense, but little rings here and there. A person here and there has left a couple of silver sort of laying out. You do find that there are a number of each room seems to be equipped with a lockbox, just a small one. And you investigate around. You're looking around for any sign of these twins. You get to one room that is 2 double beds, and what do you find? I'm gonna say you find a card. You find one of their cards from one of their decks, and you're like, okay, this is the room for sure. And you're looking around the room. The room is very tidy, barely looks lived in. There's not a lot of personal possessions around. They do have bags in the room that have like they're basically explorer packs.
Mhm.
Tinderbox, some old rations, mess kit, stuff like that. Bedroll. So definitely look like travelers. No like exceptionally personal effects in there though, as far as you can tell. You will see in the closet their like roby robes are in there, the ones that they were wearing down in the bar. And at their stall, those are in their closet. But there's like no books or jewels or letters or anything that's sort of like terribly personal.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, you don't find their money either. Like the big chest with all the money in it, you don't find that either.
I figured I wouldn't.
Yeah, not in their room. Not in their room. But yeah, you look around and you investigate very thoroughly, but it's like oddly, to be clear, it's not like they just don't like having stuff. Like these guys clearly look like they enjoy nice things, the per being in an expensive place. It is weirdly empty of stuff, you know,
Okay.
especially for having been here for a little while and having this much gold at their fingertips. So you're like, okay, this is a little weird. This is a little empty.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of there.
Yep, you get out of there, you relock the lock, make your way out. No one's the wiser.
Okay. And I will see if anybody's still awake at the inn.
Okay, make your way back to Sunkissed Inn to see if you can find anybody. Okay, which we're going to steer away. We are going to steer over to Yvain.
This can be done at dinner. Like, it doesn't have to be in private. It just needs to be with Finch.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, we're gonna go to the Sunkissed Inn. I don't have it fully populated yet, but here's my Sunkissed Inn. It's probably got too many stories, but I don't care. Yvain. You walk in. You're the first one of your friends to get here. Ulf sort of like gives you a little wave. And he kind of like gives a little nod of the head, and you're gonna see Honor Kinambari is in the tavern. She's just kind of off to the side. She's got a couple books, or not a couple. She's got like her spell book and a book that she's reading, and she's kind of off to the side. She hasn't noticed your entrance.
I'm going to send Happy off to jump on her book.
Happy, go kill. I mean, and you send Happy off to go jump on the book. Maybe a stealth check for Happy.
I was a 16 on the dice. I am a bad person and don't have Happy's thingy up.
You're good. You're good.
Plus 3, 16, 19.
19 will definitely be Honor's passive perception. Happy jumps on the book. And Honor sort of like jumps on the book and sort of oof, on top, and Honor goes and just like tosses the book and reactively like casts shield. And like her and just sort of like falls off the back of her stool.
Oh shit! And Yvain will run over and help her up and be like, "I'm so sorry. I just thought he was cute and you look so focused. I thought."
Hi. I was focused. It's good to see you.
Sorry.
Sorry. I just and she kind of starts. You see, like, being sort of the albino tiefling that she is, you see like an immediate flush come over her face. She starts scrambling for her books on the ground.
No, go down and help her.
Yeah, she
responsible for it.
All right, you grab all the books. Happy like just just like actually just like looks to help and then kind of literally just shrugs and just stays there. And you guys kind of get the books and she goes, "Oh, all right, thank you." And she goes, "So how are you? What are you doing?"
I'm going on a holy quest, actually. Wanna come?
You're going on a holy what?
Right, so
Are you Is this
Only
for the
the-
Cobalt Soul? I was there and I told me that you're a monk now.
Yeah, but no. Yeah, yes, but no. So, Finch, Paladin of Bahamut, been spending a good bit of time over at Bahamut's Rest. Anyway, so
Yep, I've heard
this
of them.
morning at breakfast, a cleric from Bahamut's Rest came in and said, "Hey, the keeper's calling you." So we all went, and anyway, so there's this wispy murder waif that's unaliving miners in the woods and the Bramblewood. Actually, you had mentioned it earlier. So the temple has asked us to deal with it, and I was being cheeky, but yeah. So we're going to look into why there's a wispy murder waif in the woods. What have you been up to?
Wow, nothing that interesting. I didn't know there was a murder waif on the loose. That's terrible. But a good thing that you're all. Dude, what have I been up to? Not much. Just working with the League of Miracles, and I honestly, I got a little sidetracked, and with you all, and I want to help with all the things, but I gotta catch back up with my work with the League. So I would love to come help, but listen, I might be a little busy. I have to rebuild some stuff. I want to help however I can. So if there's anything I could do sort of on a downtime, I'd be happy to. But listen, you should talk to Balthazar. If you're talking about that legend, the children's story, Balthazar, he loves that shit. All of that spooky lure into the woods, dark like murder thing.
So
Like-
I needed to go see him anyway. But did you take a lunch?
Yeah, I eat lunch.
Were you going to eat lunch tomorrow?
I try to every day.
We so I'm. Do you know where he happens to be playing? He did a matinee the last time we caught it, and
Right.
yeah. If you could track down, where
I'd
he's
love to
going.
go. Sure, yeah, we could
Yeah,
make a
so
thing of it.
Yeah, because I owe him the stories. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So, and you should be there for that anyway. Yeah. So where should I meet? What time are we lunching?
Sure, I haven't been invited. Sure, I'd love to go to lunch with you.
All right. So where? Oh, I'll tell you what. You have to. Can you find out where he's playing?
Okay, I can find out. Sure, yeah, yes, I'll find out where he's playing.
All right. Leave me a message and tell me what time to be there, and I will be there.
Okay, I'll find out. I'll go find out. Sure.
Cool. So
Should I go right now? Should I go right now, or it's?
no, you don't have to. I mean, were you just going to hang out because everyone's going to be? You want to have dinner with? You want dinner with? Are you hungry?
Sure, yeah. I try and eat dinner too. I haven't had dinner either. So yeah.
Yeah, no, you should stay. We've got a couple new friends, and they're all meeting here for dinner. So yeah.
Great. Yeah, I'd love to meet some new friends. Sure. Yeah, and I gotta find out where. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Above the table, I'll sit here and make small talk forever. I just don't know when. I don't want to disturb other people from coming in.
Yeah. So we'll say that you and Honor continue to have very fast, very anxious small talk for the next little while. And sure enough, party members will begin to trickle in. Let me think. Who would be there first? Easton's probably busy. Ember will come. You guys, Easton, Ember's probably gonna come around the same time. Finch probably come around the same time. Jules gonna come a little later. So I'll say at around the same time, Ember, Finch, and Easton, you guys are gonna all sort of trickle in to the Sun-Kissed Tavern and see Honor and Yvain probably halfway through a bottle of wine that Honor bought. She probably purchased a little pitcher of wine you guys have been drinking.
You're like, come on over. Hey, all right. So they're called a musket. He's from Whitestone. His name is Easton. I really
Name's
like
Musket?
that.
Oh, his name is Easton.
Guy.
Oh, he's okay. All right. Easton has a musket. Pleasure to meet you. I'm Honored Kanimbari.
Pleasure to meet you too. Apologies
Uh,
if I get a lot of dust in your hand. I spent the entire day in a very dusty quarters, just sort of clanking at rock and thinking about the meaning of life and how we're all maybe marked for death in our own special ways.
Interesting. I learned how to raise the dead.
There you go. Death has been in the air. I should get an ale. Do you guys want an ale? Oh, you're already ahead of me.
It's nice to meet you. Sure. I mean, we have some, but you want? Would you like some wine?
Yeah. There's a half-finished pitcher of wine. These two have been drinking.
I'll let you two put a cap on that. But if you need anything from the bar, I'm gonna go grab me an ale. And
Okay.
Come on, Matt.
Yep. We'll see you later, but in like a couple of minutes.
yeah, and I go.
She has like a oh fuck moment. But I think the alcohol's starting to loosen you two up maybe a little bit. And just for your sake, Easton, and yours as well, Jules, you're going to see her eventually. The mini is pretty close to what you see is what you get. And if you guys are in roll 20, I'll just put up the handout for this particular person. And as a note for you two, if I hadn't said so already, I'm putting handouts out all the time on roll 20. So if you guys want to be up to date on any lore or factions or gods or anything, put her out there. And if any interesting information has come up, feel free to ask me, and chances are I probably have a handout for it. So if I miss it, I can hand it to you. But Honor is an albino tiefling with red eyes, white skin. Her two horns sort of curl up towards the sky and sort of tip red, and her robes pretty much emphasize her apparel already. White robes with red filigree and like red undercoating. Yeah, and she seems to be a wizard of sorts per her magical bone staff and her wizarding books. Fantastic. But yeah, you grab an ale, you come back, and she will say, and she'll just kind of start talking. Ember and Finch, you guys can arrive at this time for sure.
Can I do like I don't know, what check a week? How drunk is Yvain?
Make a con save, Yvain, and Finch make a medicine check, I guess.
Medicine? Okay.
Or insight, either or.
So, for the record, Yvain actually has really good constitution, but that's a 6 on the dice, so a 9.
A 9. I'm gonna say, Yvain, you're like pleasantly tipsy, like maybe even like bordering into getting close to like what we would call drunk, but you're like pleasant. You're riding the wave, Yvain, but you're like dangerously close to getting past it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not, and you're not, of course not aware of it. Yeah, you're in the wave right now, and you're feeling good, and of course, as one is, completely unaware that you're about to go over the wave. Honor, on the other hand, hasn't quite started to feel the effects of alcohol yet. She rolled a natural 18 plus stuff, and she's maybe drinking a little bit more heavily, trying to get a little bit of social battery into her. But yeah, Yvain, you're definitely a little bit longer in your cups. That's how it seems, Finch.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
What'd you roll, by the way?
Oh, I rolled a 17.
Yeah, okay, you know all this. Cool.
Okay. You said Ember and I just come and we would approach the table.
Sure.
I would return back with my ale, but also a pitcher of water, because I even though they had said no, I took Yvain's lack of words as words, and I just placed the pitcher on the table and sort of grab my corner and like focus in on my ale a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys come in. Honor's like, oh, hi. Good. Hello. It's good to see you. I heard you're going on a holy quest. That's
that
cool.
Yes, that is what we are charged to do.
That's great. I know you like holy things.
My first time.
Your first what?
First time, Jose, be a little more specific.
First time on A holy quest.
Oh, I've never been on a holy quest. That sounds fun and rewarding, probably.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Hey, do you remember any more about that story you told us? The one about the sad wispy chick who lures men to their deaths.
Said whiskey.
Yeah, just that she's a sad wispy chick and she is dead and lures men into the forest to die. Usually at nighttime, is what I'm told. And like if you go after dark, and as the stories always go, so usually after dark, and that's all I know. But again, you should talk to Balthazar. He's really into those sort of like spooky stories, right? It's really his aesthetic.
Oh, that's what we're doing tomorrow. So yeah, I'm doing some research tomorrow, so we're gonna have to leave the day after.
I hold up my mug. And, I also sneak like a peek when they were talking about like luring men dark at nighttime. I definitely snuck like a little peek over my shoulder out the window or something in there. It's kind of like, oh, and, yeah.
Let's see what's out the window. There's nothing. It's just a window. You're in luck. The devil has not come for you today. Sorry, it's not too foreboding. Yep. Ember, you come in. Oh, you guys seem to all settle into a drink or two. Jewel will arrive. Therein.
No, but seriously, together, can we put together 100 gold, or yeah, 100 gold? And if we do, could we give it to someone who could go get diamond material? It doesn't have to be a single diamond. It could be diamond dust, but it has to be that much amount.
I would look at Honor and I would ask is that something that's easily found around here? Would you know, like where we could?
You go, oh yeah, this is Western is a huge trade city. I don't imagine you'd have too much of a hard time trying to find whatever it is you're trying to purchase. But the special thing to remember about material components is that usually spells require a certain increment of gold value, but that salesman usually wants more than the value, the base value, right, to make a profit. So
would you be able to help us if we were in the market for such things to maybe at least point us in the direction of maybe a merchant that you would recommend or you feel is reputable? I know you said it's a big trade city, but I feel like that comes with the implications that maybe some vendors are more trustworthy than others.
Oh, actually, I don't really purchase a lot of material components. I have
It's fine.
I mean, I'm sorry. I should be able to. I have certain some of my math involves the ability to.
No. It's all right. And I just learned the spell, and it's an unusual spell. But if someone actually like dies, like not just passes out, but actually dies, so long as I can get to them within a minute, I can sort of like grab onto their soul and stuff it back in their body, so long as they're willing to be stuffed back in, sort of.
Well, this is did something happen? I mean, I know there's been a lot of dreams around town, but it just seems like a really dark time.
No, all right. So here's the thing. If we don't know what this thing is, we've got no idea what it is, but it could be an undead spirit of some sort. That is one of the possibilities of things it could be.
Cool.
Since they have some weird, like, soul-sucking abilities that I don't really understand, I would rather have a single ward against something awful happening and never need it than not have it because I'm feeling cocky and then be really pissed off at myself because I didn't have it when I needed it. It's an ounce of it's a copper of prevention, if you will.
Based off of Yavain's description of what that spell she's describing, like I'm just going to ask for myself, like, would I understand the difference between that and describing what necromancy is? Because that's what that sounds like to me, like
Maybe an
raising
Arcana
dead.
check.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe an Arcana check.
Okay. Let's see.
Funny thing about the Revivify spell.
17.
17. Finch, you recognize that not only is she talking about a spell that sounds like necromancy, but she's talking about a spell that is necromancy.
Okay.
With a 17, I'll say, like, as part of your sort of theological education and sort of like lessons in morals and morality around certain, as would be trained to a paladin of your sort of previous education. Yeah, you'd gather that, like, necromancy has been a sketchy subject for a long time, but eventually it was decided that necromancy was by the large sort of ethical, shall we call it, like, the ethical mediators of magic, a guild known as the Arcane Panasophical, decided that necromancy is legal, like necromancy is okay, as long as it is being studied in practice, in theory, so as to combat true necromancers.
Okay, so use for good.
Basically, if necromancy is used for good and it's not actually being used, the Arcane Panasophical doesn't have a beef with you about it. Resurrections, however, are a good reason why that necromancy hasn't been fully outlawed, because it's like, oh, like, we really hate that everybody raises the dead and, like, torments the souls of the dead and everything, but also we can bring people back to life, which is pretty valuable.
Okay.
So yeah, so you're aware that it is indeed necromancy, but it's necromancy people are like, oh, okay, like, maybe we let this one slide. You know what I mean?
That makes sense, especially because I know that, like, later on, like, paladins can also possess, like, the Revivify spell. So, like,
yeah,
I don't want to be, like, completely foreign. But yeah, I was just curious if, like, in this moment I would feel a little freaked out. Okay.
No, I think you would definitely understand as much as Yvain does. You understand that theological, ethical perspective.
Got it.
But you'd also understand that it is a very difficult ritual to undertake.
Got it. Okay.
A little morally loose, but
understood.
Okay.
I don't actually think the Raven Queen is going to allow anything she doesn't want to allow.
Mm-hmm.
I think anything like this is done at her behest. I'm not getting around a god, that's not what's happening here.
I understand. Okay. So then that's something we're interested in then, is trying to find diamond. 100 gold's worth of diamond. Yes, that's what I heard you say.
100 gold's worth.
Okay.
And again, it is my hope that we never ever need it. I would just,
good to be prepared.
Yeah, to be prepared. I feel like we've had enough incidences with our previous adventures where it couldn't hurt.
And also, the exhaustion spell I have, that's just there from now on. We just have that now. Alright? So if something weird happens whenever we're going, it's not just for this thing we're going on, but just in general, we can manage that now. I should have had it prepared to begin with.
Okay.
Right. There's nothing else the party wishes to speak of this evening?
Jewel will want to go over what happened.
Cool.
So Jewel's gonna turn to Easton. So I followed those merchants back to their room. It's a hotel, at least, so it's an inn. And something very strange happened.
Oh yeah. Ethan's gonna look at her like just a little bit surprised. Okay, what kind of merchants?
The men who were reading people's dreams for them, giving meaning to their dreams.
Reading dreams? Darn.
Yes.
Seems a bit
Opportune?
Yes.
Yes. We sure thought so.
Who else was there with you?
It was just me.
Oh, he said
But I was in the market with Sember, and we were keeping an eye on them and sort of checking out to see if they was, what you say, legitimate.
Once Ember's mentioned, I'll turn my attention towards him to kind of get his take on it.
And the strange thing is that they're new to town. Just a couple of days before the nightmares began.
New to town, reading dreams. I mean, that's many
Very
layers.
convenient. Very, very convenient.
I didn't get the feeling that their readings were overtly arcane in and of themselves. They primed for information and then spun that into explanation and suggestion, and they were really very good at that. I am a bad interpreter of deceit, but when you have something new that's happening and you have somebody who is making a significant amount of coin based on that happening, it rings of possible malfeasance.
It is far too convenient.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Often, yes.
So the very, very weird part of this is I follow them and they sit in the inn and they have some wine and they talk about dreams and they go up to their room. And I go outside and I get on the roof and I find their room, but there's nobody in there. I got in the room and look around and it is their room. The card is on the floor. But there's no sign of the money, no sign of being lived in, really, just the backpacks and the costumes in the closet.
It doesn't seem they plan on being here for long amounts of time.
Well, they just went to their room and I did not see any sign of them leaving the room, is what I'm saying.
Anna, I know that Westron's your home. Has there ever been an epidemic of nightmares in your recollection?
No, this is no, I've never heard of this has never happened before as far as I know.
Because I know you get about the city. When
Aye.
did you first become aware that there was maybe something going on?
Well, I started having these terrible dreams and then actually, now that I think of it, Balthazar came to me and he was talking about his dreams. He was having horrible nightmares. And then I had nightmares a day later. And this was about a week ago. It was right after the Onkeg stuff, thereabouts.
Do we know when these dream interpreters came into town?
It was a few days before. I have not noticed them before, but they came in a couple of days before the dreams.
Oh, that's hinky.
Oh, so just to give you the timeline as specific as possible. Yeah, Jewel, you saw them around town about 5-ish days before you met this crew. So around the time, so actually probably around the time that you guys got into town is when Jewel first sighted them, but you don't know if they'd been there before then. That's just the first time Jewel saw them. Western's a big city. Nightmares, the earliest instance of nightmares that you could detect is Honor's account of Balthazar having a bad nightmare, and she would say it was the night it got back from all the Unkeg stuff, actually, and would say that's it.
Then let's take a moment to just fill everyone in, since Anna's, Actually, wait, no, I guess she's been here the whole time, so never mind.
Oh, I've been following along.
I'm sorry. Above the table, I forgot that we did not talk about this morning, and I don't know half of
It's all good. It's all good.
Sorry.
So good.
Well, that's interesting. Hinky. We should probably look into that after we get back. All right. I'm going to look into the Murder Wave story tomorrow. I guess we should see about components. Is there anything else that needs to get done? We can plan on leaving the next day.
Oh, I just have to wait for my weapons to be finished, and then I'm ready to go. But I do have a timeline. I do need to be back before the festival.
We have
But
an
I
extra day.
think this first trek is to recover the bodies and to bring them back.
I'd like to spend some time by that tree that was mentioned. That the miner this morning specifically said it's a tree everyone seems to avoid, which usually tells me that's the first place to go.
Well, and that's where they were, so that is indeed where we're going, I think.
But if we have another day in the city, I may have to get this dream read. Just to get a closer look, as you can imagine.
They seem mostly interested in the dreams of the locals. Not so much about the dreams not local.
Interesting.
Maybe they're trying to solve the dream problem too. Maybe.
Perhaps. Or they could just be very, very conveniently in town.
Or that too. There's no shortage of bad people in the world.
You are right, though. It's not a guarantee they're bringing the storm. They could be facing it head on, just as we are. That's why I'd like to get a look at them, and if we do have another day in the city.
Still rather, I don't know. It seems wrong to profit on so many people's suffering. I mean, maybe they're trying to help, but if not, that's
Hinky.
That sucks.
Because they weren't saying those suckers, those people are so foolish. They were not saying nothing like that.
Oh, okay, all right. Maybe they're trying to help. I hope they're trying to help. Sorry, you told me Pinky?
Pinky. It seems like what they're doing is suspicious. It's just not. It doesn't.
Oh.
Something about what they're doing doesn't seem.
Right.
Maybe it's not outwardly wrong, but it doesn't feel right.
Okay.
Yeah, timing is the only way I can remotely see a positive in what they're doing is perhaps gathering similarities amongst streams and sussing out what they may, if they aren't profiting off of it.
I have someone watching them as well for the next few days. So while we're away, we can get the information from them when we get back.
Sounds like we've got business then.
Yeah, as soon as the bolts and blades are done, we can roll out.
Can I ask you all something?
Of course.
Am I the only one not overtly excited to sleep tonight? Or any night? I do normally like sleep, but
since this dream nonsense has started, I would go so far as to dare say if the origin is similar, and if yours are as bad as mine, then I would say that the answer is probably not looking forward to.
I wonder if there's anybody who doesn't get affected by these dreams. I mean, I haven't talked to anyone who hasn't had nightmares this last week at some point.
Take a
Well,
Are
walk.
any of us going to sleep tonight? Like, I mean, do we? We just can't barge into the rooms and say, "All right, are you giving us all bad dreams?" Like, no, I think we're lunatics.
I mean, why not? Why can't you?
That's true.
I mean, a preliminary interview?
We have a location on them, yes, Joel?
No is the problem. We know where their room in the inn is, but
We're not in the room.
They're not
they
there.
effectively vanished shortly after entering.
Well, you can tell a lot from who stays in a room with how they leave it.
Oh, it was very tidy. Very, very tidy.
I will say, like, it was lived into a degree. Like, you saw, like, I don't know, like, they've clearly been living in there. You don't know if they've been sleeping in there. The beds were made, but like, they've been living in there, but again, still suspiciously empty of personal stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
Shit. Sorry. Probably already knew that. Trying to make sure I'm not getting my information wrong. Well, I might stay up for a little while longer and stave off sleep for a little bit. Oh, I gotta find out where Balthazar is playing tomorrow. I'll. She looks at you, Yvain, goes, I'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
I'll like lean in for a hug and kind of see, does she want a hug?
Yeah, she goes. She's surprised that she gets a hug, and she kind of like takes the hug, and then sort of like, okay, bye. And she kind of like makes her way out of the tavern.
And Joel puts the forearms on the table and looks at Vane. Vane! Oh, you rascal.
She's pretty something. She's something else. I mean, yeah. So tomorrow I'll go find Balthasar, see if I can find out about the murder waif. Anyway, yeah. So I should take a bath and go to bed. Good night.
Easton,
Murder wave.
when my weapons are ready, would you like some company as a treat?
Well, we're all going to the tree once the weapons are
okay.
ready.
I thought he was just
But-
going to go. I was mistaken.
I am.
Apologies.
Against both my good judgment and my bad judgment, I do want to get a look at their room. Not tonight.
Well,
They're still here tomorrow.
it all depends how quiet you are. And can you climb?
I like my chances.
Very well.
Yeah. How's this? Meet me here, midday. We'll take a little trip over.
In the middle of the day. Oof. As you wish.
My thinking was they'd be busy selling dreams, but we could do night. We could even do now if you're still feeling awake. I certainly don't want to go to sleep sooner than I have to. But would you like to risk your odds twice in one day?
He said to the gambler.
He said to the gambler. Just checking one quick thing here. Well, Avandra has been smiling down upon me, so perhaps she will continue smiling down upon me.
Let's hope she smiles upon both of us.
let me make this simple. Both of you roll me a stealth check.
Alrighty. Well, I don't have rogue stealth, but it's okay. All right.
23.
Oh no! Wait, that was a slight. Why did that click slightly?
We'll keep the same. I'll say keep the same roll. What's the bonus on stealth?
It's a +4.
Okay. You guys make your way up to the Opal Ward. Walking up there in the middle of the night, prowling. What'd you get, Jewel?
23.
23. Okay, so that's not gonna happen. Okay, you guys do your best to sort of like slip behind the tavern. Easton fully steps in a like metal bucket.
Shit.
Wait, what's going on back there? A couple guards come around the corner with torches. Jewel, you're doing pretty good for yourself stealth-wise. You think you just sort of vanish into shadow and leave Easton to fend for himself if you want to. What would you like to do?
Jewel will just put her arms around Easton's shoulders and pretend to kiss him.
Ooh! He goes, what's going on? Oh!
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Jewel, make a deception or performance check. Easton, you do the same. I'll say, Easton, you do it at disadvantage because you're probably a little surprised.
I got a 23 again.
23. All right. Very nice. Very nice.
They're both nice and bad.
Oh shit.
A 4 and a 2. Yeah, it's
Oh.
it's going down tonight, fellas. You know?
The guy's like, oh my god, that cat's trying to kill that man. He's trying to eat his face. And they go and they like come over and they're like, hey, get over, get on. You're like, no. I was like kissing him, right? And Easton, you're like, yeah.
We're crazy about each other.
They're like, they whisper something to each other. One guard like takes you aside. Easton goes, come over here, mate. Come over here. Like takes you around the shoulder. He goes, listen. There's a lot of stigma around like this kind of thing when it comes to we boys, but it's important that you let us know if something untoward that you were not consenting to happened back here tonight. All right, listen, it's very important to look out for yourself and your self-esteem, your mental health.
I like to stay warm at night, you know. It's
He says this like blankly. He says, look, I'm gonna be honest, mate. You know, we can't help you if you don't help yourself. So if this creature has assaulted you in some way, you should let us know so we can deal with it. You'll be safe. There's nothing wrong. Nothing will happen to your pride, or no one's gonna think less of you because of it.
I have a lot of blankets, you see, and well, like I said, I like to stay warm at night. It's trust me, I'm perfectly fine. You two should probably tend to downstairs. Everyone's a little scared down there. Sleep's not been the best, you know.
Make me a deception check.
It's gonna be great. Deception check?
Yeah, we'll call it the deception check. You're not particularly lying, but you are trying to hide your. Oh, there we go.
Well, that's a
So you're like stonewalling this guy. You're like, no, like I'm fine, like blankets and stuff. And this guy's like doesn't know who you actually are, so maybe he thinks that you're just like a stone cold, like awesome party animal with no personality. He's like, oh, right, mate. Like, hey, I mean, if you say so, all right, I'm gonna trust that you're looking out for your own self, but you know, you let a guard know something bad's happening, all right?
Jewel goes, yoo-hoo!
You gotta watch out for these women of the night, mate. That's all I'll say.
You guys wait if you guys excuse me.
Yeah, all right. You take care, mate.
I do like some weird claw too before I go.
What the fuck? I feel like he's like, yeah, let's get out of here. That guy's weird. And they leave you guys alone. You have a climbing speed, so Easton, make me an athletics check to see if you can scale the side of this building.
Good thing I didn't have to roll too much tonight because I've been on fire. Oh, there's a 3. Yeah.
They're like in the tavern, like, I don't know what's up with this guy. It looked like an attack. It really did. Yeah, no, it looked like an attack. And then like Easton, like across the window, he's like, some guys just like to get thrown around. I mean, it's clearly no self-respect. You know, it's an epidemic, and they just like. You fully eat shit off of the fucking store out of like a 20-foot fall. You're gonna take 4 bludgeoning damage as you just into the ground as you fall off the side of the building. Like, yeah, she's really tossing him around. Should we do something? You go, nah, he's got to learn a lesson for himself. And
throws down a rope.
Throws down a rope from the window. Easton, make me another athletics check. You'll have advantage because of the rope. See if you can make it up there. DC like. I was gonna say 5, so it worked. Easton's like trying to get up the side of this building. So you're like, oh my god. But you guys make it up the side and what's your passive? Oh, you have a pretty high passive perception. So you know what? I'm gonna hold off on that. So you're like, oh god, he's got to try and lighten it. You go to get your rope, and you hear from inside the room that was empty last time you left it. You hear. You hear like snoring from inside the room. Do you wish to like try and get inside while it's
I want to
occupied?
listen more carefully. See if I hear any more than my passive perception gave me.
Make me a perception check.
14 plus 8. 22.
22. You can hear the breath of a second individual, just sort of like not snoring, but still like just like heavier breath of someone who is indeed probably sleeping. But you can't identify that person, but you can hear from the tone of the snoring. There's just something about it. You kind of like hear, maybe they talk in their sleep a little bit like, over that way. And just sort of mumbling, you can hear their voice, and you do hear the tieflings in there.
Okay.
Or at least one tiefling, and you can assume the second one is in there.
Yes. Okay. So has Easton made it up to the top yet?
Well, this will be before you send the rope down, because you're on the side of the thing, right?
Okay, yeah.
So what do you wish to do now?
I'm gonna climb back down.
Okay. Easton's pulling sticks out of his hair, and you climb down.
I think they're sleeping in the room right now. And what I can do is I can stay on the roof for a couple of hours, and perhaps in the morning they may have a conversation, and we can see if they're having the dreams too.
Who was it you said you were hoping to be smiling down at you tonight?
Averna.
Well, I don't think she's smiling tonight. I'd say let's Jewel, I'm gonna say I don't want to tell you to stay out later than you need to, but if you feel it's right, follow your heart. I'm gonna follow mine to another ale and probably some contemplation.
Jewel will look up at the room and consider it. No, I will keep you company tonight. Just in having the ale, of course. Just that's it.
Yeah. Let's
that was just for a distraction, just so you know.
That's fine.
Okay.
Probably worked out really well, so I should thank you. I'll return the favor. I'll get you a drink or whatever. And I get up and kind of like try to restore some pride in myself, and go head back towards the bar.
Yep, and Joel go with.
Man, I'm rolling, trying to get me a random encounter going, but either Carmen or Nicole or maybe you, Steph, that's just ruining my random encounters because I can't roll a fucking random encounter in this game or yesterday's game, no matter what. One of you's got a lucky charm or something.
Averna is Jules' goddess.
Right.
Okay, you guys make your way back to the Sun-Kissed Inn without issue, and you guys can share a drink, 4 copper, and that was 4 copper for you as well, Ember, if you didn't take that down for your drink at the stalls today. Yvain sounded like she was going to bed. Finch?
Yeah, I think I would go to bed as well. I don't have any other business to be up tonight.
Easton and Jewel, you guys just have like a little drink, a little small talk before bed, or is there anything you wanted to do or talk about?
You said earlier you have people keeping eyes on them. You don't need to tell me more than you want to, but are those people trustworthy?
We help each other, so it is in both our interests to be good to one another.
Are these gambling buddies?
No. Children.
Children.
Yes, many children on the streets here. I do what I can to help them because when I got to the city and when I was very young as well, they helped me. So, so the least I can do is continue the tradition, I suppose you could say.
Yeah. They're definitely an honest bunch. No one will point out your insecurities or flaws better than a child.
Indeed.
So you've been here a long time, I take it then.
It's about 5 years.
5 years.
Yes, 5 years.
I never left my hometown much. Truth be told, I never really wanted to or had a reason to. So, have you enjoyed it? Your time here? It's not always bad.
It has its ups and downs. There's things that trouble me, and there's things that I enjoy.
Yeah. Lord of Dreams, I was enjoying it for the most part. So, but I can see.
Vibrant city.
Yeah. It's different. You know, there's something, well, I guess I've never really felt it when I was there, but being away from home, it's, there's a familiarity you don't really feel, and you don't notice that you feel that until you're away from it.
I understand completely.
Yeah.
I have traveled very far to get here.
Must have good reason.
Yes.
Oh.
But that is a story for another night.
Of course, it's the good reasons, Jewel. And thanks again for that.
Link.
First time my superior, whenever we'd spar and just train, whoever got the upper hand on the other would kiss each other on the forehead as a sign of. So normally, that's when my face would be kissed. But thank you.
Sorry if it was awkward. It was just momentary, instant reaction.
No, it saved me a lot of embarrassment, which I still felt, but yeah. I think those guards will see me a lot around town.
They're around. They're here and there. They get assigned to different parts of the city, so you may see them, you may not.
You don't know this, but us, I'm a bit of a guard type when at my home, and we gossip a lot. So they're
I'm sure that we gave them a good story for the night.
Maybe I might develop a certain reputation for myself. I'm not sure I'm ready to carry. But no, I don't mean that as offense to you. It's more.
No. There are very, very, very many people who do very strange things in the city, so
Yeah,
it will be a highlight for a night, and then they will find something else.
yeah. That's good. That's reassuring. Thank you.
Oh, of course, my pleasure. And Jewel will get up and finish her drink and set it down, and do a little of one of her flourishing bows. Have a good night, Easton.
He'll toast up with his ale, and Easton's probably he's not gonna order another one, but he's definitely like he's he wishes he had a little nightlight tonight. I think. Yeah, but he'll go up after certain. I would say after like 40 or so minutes of just sitting there, kind of like decompressing. One more minute.
As you're there, no, never mind. Take it back.
Wily.
You know what? Let's do it anyway. Yeah. Easton, as you're sitting there having a drink to yourself, in basically the empty, not so empty tavern. As the week has gone on, the tavern has stayed filled later and later with perhaps people with similar dilemmas going on. Sleep is not coming terribly easy. And in walks this guard. Dressed in guardsman uniform, but no helmet, no spear, no shield. Definitely sort of wearing the. Ooh, let me tell you. Definitely wearing the garb of the guards around here, which are known as shields, but clearly not as like on duty, helmet, spear, and everything. Sort of walks in this big orc woman. She is probably 6'3", tusks, big tusks. This isn't a half orc. This is a full-blooded orc woman. Big, broadly built, strong woman in guard's uniform. All of her sort of like musculature hidden beneath the large gambeson that she wears as a guardsman of Westrin. And her hair is cut into almost like a pixie cut a little bit with a side looks like an undercut to one side, but sort of like pixie cut to the side a little bit. And in she walks, and she walks up and sits at the bar right next to you. She goes, "How's it going tonight?"
I've had better.
Had better?
Yeah.
People have been struggling around the city these past couple nights.
Yeah, there's something in the air, I suppose.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe someone's gonna figure it out. Maybe that's gonna be you. You look like the adventuring type.
Nice. At that, I kind of like look at them, and it's looking enough is like, where's this going?
Yeah, she goes. Guardswoman. Why did I pick the most hard to pronounce fucking name? I'm gonna change it. Guardswoman Sinzu the Keen. That's what they call me. I noticed you were having a drink with the unusual one. We just went upstairs. I think her name is. I think they call her Jewel, right? I heard of her around town.
Yeah. She's a friend.
How long you known her?
Couple weeks now.
You weren't hanging out with her by chance on the last Misrin, 27th? This was the last day of your downtime.
Can I roll a perception to see if anyone's watching us talking right now?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Let's say 21.
21. That was yesterday, actually, just to be very clear. So should have said yesterday. I got a little fancy with it. 21, you look around. Nobody seems to be listening. The barkeep is there, but is just sort of like closing up the bar, cleaning glasses down the other end of the bar right now.
No, I can't say I was.
Do you happen to know where she was?
No.
Make a persuasion check.
Come on. No.
Ooh. She goes, I wonder I wonder how she gets such a good friend so quickly. You two must have been through something together.
Say this city has a way of bringing people together.
We're tearing them apart as of late, with all these dreams going round, and children being snatched out of their beds, and other things being snatched out of homes.
Like I said, some in the air, I suppose.
Well, listen, I gotta tell you, this Jewel character, she's not someone I think you should be hanging around with, stranger. You seem to be like a fairly well put together individual. You got a fine cut to you. You look like you've been through some, maybe a respectable fellow. Is that fair to say?
In some circles, yeah.
Honor something that you give a shit about?
I do.
Would you be surprised to hear that Jewel is being investigated for a theft of a prominent merchant right now?
News to me.
Would you be interested to know that she happens to be suspected to be a part of the crime syndicate known as the Myriad?
Ooh. My interest would vary.
Well, I'll tell you what, Easton. I'm did you ever give her any did you ever give your name? Just to make sure I'm not.
No, I would say he did, yeah. He probably
Okay.
walked in Easton.
Same. Well, we're only as good as the company we keep. That's what I say. So I'll tell you what. If you learn anything of your friends that you find dishonorable, unbecoming, worthy of informing a guardsman, just come let me know, all right? Does that sound fair?
And I kind of like look ahead. I give a quick nod, sort of like it's caught my interest because I sort of know a thing or two about betrayal, right? Testing in the wrong.
Well, let me leave you to your night drink. Hopefully you get some sleep tonight. And hey, remember, City of Westruun's always willing to reward those who bring criminals to justice. Have a good evening.
You as well.
And guardswoman Sinzu the Keen walks out of the Sun-Kissed Inn.
Jewel wouldn't have gone upstairs, by the way. She would have gone home.
Okay, understood.
Yep.
No problem. No problem at all. We're out of the cages.
I think Easton's gonna look at the bartender and be like, you know what? I'll have that other one. One more before.
Fair enough. And he'll pour you another ale, and he'll just give you a nod, and he'll keep cleaning away, but he's there. Okay, you have your ale. You get enough into your cups where you think it's going to put you down a little easier. And all of you will find your way to various sleeps. And my friends, nothing changes. Pinch, failure in the face of battle, disappointing your god, Yvain, loneliness, the thrusting of destiny upon you, how unfair that is. Ember, the Cinder King, laughing loudly that he fathered you. Jewel, the apathy of the world towards you and your plight and what's led you to this path, what damage has been done to you. And Easton, that monster in the night with its yellow eyes. You will all awaken the next morning. All of you will get a long rest, though it will not feel much like a long rest. There will be a note waiting for you, Yvain, from Honor, telling you the haunt in which to meet her at. And I think that's where we'll end the session tonight. It seems like the right time to end the session.
Ah.
Cool.
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 Sweet. Yep.
Good times.
We'll see if we can't move tomorrow. I think today went pretty good, time-wise, pacing-wise.
Mhm.
Got to learn about your quest, the elements involved in it. We'll see how tomorrow or next session goes.
Really got to show off.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I really got to show off my -1 charisma tonight for sure.
Back of that Riz. Shit.
So I was just like that performance. I'm like, he's
Shit.
gonna have to be like, yeah.
Well, I'm very excited. I think this is all going to pan out to be a very exciting little arc.
Hell yeah.
I was not expecting the priestess of the Raven Queen to be like, go fetch the corpse and bring it back.
She was like, if you want to know exactly what happened without bring me a corpse.
Bring me a
wanted
body.
to know how to kill the stuff.
Well, yeah.
Well, keep in mind, think about it like witch hunters, right? Like the witch hunters back in the day were like, yo, fuck witches. But they didn't know shit about witches, right? So the Raven Queen's people are like, fuck the undead. And there are absolutely champions and paladins out there that definitely know how to kill, or the entire Claret Order, that definitely know how to kill undead. That doesn't mean every priest does know. But she did put you all on to Easton's expertise.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I thought this was everyone liked the session. It was a little bit of a